That the home cooking will get them their first W at Camden Yards, and that the home crowd will cheer them on against the Yankees.
Oh, oh.
It's the Orioles on Masson, and the Birds are mighty happy to be back in Birdland as the Yankees are in town for the first of three and to kick off this homestand. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. For the Orioles, it did get better on the road trip. There are some bats that have come alive. The starters have continued to perform well. The bullpen, that's a mess. That's going to have to be figured out. But for the Orioles, hopefully enough to get them some wins against the Yankees. And certainly for the starter tonight, it's about time. Take a look at the numbers right now in Major League Baseball. They are the lowest ERAs of pitchers who do not have a win. Zach Greinke, then Kevin Millward and Jeremy Guthrie. Then you've got Deese and Clayton Richard, 2 of the 5 in that list of the Orioles. You figure when you're pitching that well, you ought to have at least one W.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly what the Orioles wanted. He's kind of led the staff as far as helping a lot of the young pitchers. His control, with the exception of the 6th inning when he had a leadoff walk up in Seattle, and he was pitching against Felix Hernandez, but only one run up to that point. So he's mixed his pitches. He's shown, I think, all the young pitchers that this is not about throwing the ball, it's about pitching. So the only thing that has really kept them from winning is the fact that they just haven't been able to score runs, and hopefully that'll change. You're going to have to do it against Phillip Hughes, who had a no-hitter going into the 8th inning, who's pitching for the Yankees tonight.
And Kevin Millward went the distance in the ball game last time, a complete game loss against Seattle. It was a 4-1 ball game, and has happened to Kevin most of the games early on this season, Jim. It's been one inning that has cost him a game.
Yeah, and of course when you're not getting a lot of runs scored, Gary, that could be the difference. And again, he cruised into the 6th inning. He started that game with 20 strikeouts, only 1 walk in his first 3 starts. And again, when you have a bad inning against somebody as Felix Hernandez, who was overpowering, that'll be the difference. But again, this is a game where you go out and pitch the best game of your life, but it's a team game. You have to play in concert. And we saw a little bit more of that in Boston over the weekend for the Orioles. So let's hope the bats do come alive. And again, they're going to have to do it against a tough young right-hander.
And the Orioles knew they were going to be in the midst of a very tough set of games here because they've got 12 in a row, including the 3 that were played in Boston against the Red Sox and the Yankees. But these are the division teams the Orioles have got to beat. Many of the players have said, look, let's just get to it right now and find out where we are and make ourselves better against these guys.
Well, they are the world champs for the 27th time. And, Miguel Tejada, big headline today. And I said, you really, that was kind of really out there for an older guy. And he says, I feel like I'm 15. So anyway, I'll tell you what, he had a very good weekend up in Boston. Good to see him back. And hopefully they'll be able to score some runs.
All right, we are set to go here at Camden Yards. It's the Yankees and the Orioles. When we come back, we'll check the starting lineups for the ball game. Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Mostly clear skies here for the start of this series at Camden Yards tonight. We welcome all of you. Let's take a look at our train. Game time temperature just 56 degrees at game time, and it's going to be going down. Visit trainsearch.com to locate an independent train dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Kevin Millwood on the mound. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Yankees, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Jeter, Gardner, and Teixeira. Rodriguez, Cano, and Posada. Granderson swishes the DH tonight. Randy Wynn's going to get his second start in right field. A-Rod, 585 now, career home runs, 8 on the all-time list.
And let's take a look at our scouting report. Kevin Millwood, well, why me? Only 8 runs in those 4 starts. We talked about that in the opening. Maybe that'll change tonight. Millwood 35, Phil Hughes is 23. So again, experience versus youth, and get it right. All the home runs, and there will be some pretty formidable right-handed hitters in the lineup tonight that Kevin Millwood has thrown this year has been against right-handers. But all in all, he's pitched very well, and you can see right there only 4 walks in the 29-plus innings. So, and again, these Yankees, they'll work the count as well as anybody. Come in with a 366 on-base percentage as a team.
Kevin Millwood has been phenomenal in getting leadoff batters in an inning off. He's retired 79% of leadoff batters in an inning, and that helps the pitcher's cause. And that's a big number. Anything over 70 is good. Derek Jeter stands in, takes the pitch for a strike on the outside corner. We are underway. Wind down at home plate tonight was blowing in a bit, even though the flags appear to be headed out. Jeter, well, look at that one outside, 1-1. Jeter is 8 for 25, lifetime off the Orioles starter. Most of these Yankees have had a number of at-bats against Kevin Millwood over their careers. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Right-hander will just miss outside with it, 2-1.
Well, there you go. That's what you're staring at. Pretty good company right there, wouldn't you say? 7 200 or more hit years. One of them last year.
Chopper to short is Torres. Always that big first out. 1 away.
Well, take a look at the way he holds his fastball. There's the 4-seamer. He will also turn it over, hold it with it. The big curveball. He threw a couple of those up in Seattle. Doesn't throw a lot of them. Slider. Throws that very much like a cut fastball, and then the changeup. And I think we already saw that. Able to keep the ball down to Jeter and get the ground ball in a hitter's count.
Kevin is not allowed a run in the first inning of the starts that he has made so far this season. He faces Gardner, who's making the start in left field. 2 for 5 off Millwood. Shows bunt.
Yeah, you can see everybody in the infield coming up because Brett Gardner, 9 steals if he gets on out of 10 attempts. Everybody's in.
Gardner tied for the league lead in stolen bases coming into today's play. 1-0 delivery to him. The breaking ball off speed is in there for a strike. Those who follow the Yankees say Gardner in left field has been even better than anticipated. That his play defensively has been Gold Glove caliber. And at the plate, that .327 average. 7 walks, 9 strikeouts, 5 RBIs. Nothing wrong there either. That's going to catch the inside corner. A little quick pitch right there, and a 1 ball 2 strike count.
Yeah, the ability again to throw your strikes with good movement. You know, looks like a changeup maybe that comes back. Maybe it could have been a fastball. His fastball usually around 89 to 91.
1-2 delivered. Just missed up high.
Well, Wally Bell supposed to ring him up. Wally Bell's supposed to ring the bell right here. Boy, he ducks this one. Good idea of the strike zone. You can see he had the top limit of it, but doesn't get the call.
2-2 delivery on the way. Gardner will blip that one to center. Jones started in, backs up. He's got it. And there are 2 down.
Well, the one thing, Gary, and you know, you've been around the game so long, is that you can set the tone how you pitch these Yankees early on. And you get Jeter out, you get Gardner's been hot out, and now, you know, it's never good to pitch to Teixeira. He has been struggling, but always a threat. Look at those numbers.
These are the lowest batting averages this season right now for those among the regulars. Nick Johnson's not starting this game. Mark Teixeira is. Who would have believed that, though? The lowest batting average coming into today's games in the majors would belong to Mark Teixeira. Well, that's the way it has started. He's never had April as a month that he's really enjoyed very much, and this one is one of the worst. He does have, though, 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. 8 RBIs to go along with the .119 average is pretty good.
And he's got 13 walks. I mean, Nick Johnson, along those guys that have the low batting average, has been on base 18 times, bothered by some back stiffness, so he's not playing tonight.
Millwood trying to get the 1-2-3 inning. That is going to miss up high in a 2-ball 1-strike count.
And he does all the right things. And when you talk about Mark Teixeira, I mean, last year with the World Baseball Classic, he said, I'm not playing in that as much as I'd like to represent the country. I'm going to spring training. I'm going to meet my teammates, get ready to have a good start. And he still had a slow April.
It's just April is not, and there are many around baseball that's true for. April's not their month. Orioles have the shift on here with Historis, the shortstop, playing directly behind second base. Wigginton at second is out shallow, and you see the left side dominated by Miguel Tejada and Miguel alone.
And he's hitting in front of A-Rod, so should get a pretty good pitch to hit.
That'll take it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And he didn't. That tells me right there, when you look at the average, when he's hot, that pitch was such a good 3-1 pitch in spite of the fact that A-Rod's waiting on deck. He probably would have taken it. But again, when you figure, oh, 3-1, I'm going to get a good pitch to hit. It wasn't a good pitch to hit, yet he swung it.
3-2 delivery on the way to him. That's down the line and foul. Kevin Millwood, .269 opponent batting average. Lefties at .273, .273. Right-handers at .266 on the year. Kevin has done much better when the bases are empty. .235 than when somebody's on. .325. So he likes to work out of that windup. 3-2 delivery, and that'll be fouled right straight back. Count will remain at 3-2 on Mark Teixeira. The Yankees are on a road trip concluding here. Joe Girardi's ball club is 3-3 on the trip. They lost 2 against the Angels over the weekend and took 2 out of 3 from Oakland when the road trip started. Again, the 3-2 delivery by Millwood, and again a souvenir.
Yeah, a little slider. It acts like a cut fastball with pretty good movement. So there's, what, 4 straight pitches that he's had a chance to see. And again, the shadow, the looming presence of Alex Rodriguez on deck. You really don't want to walk Teixeira. You don't want to give him a good pitch, but you know, you got to challenge him. I mean, you got to try to do it on your terms and make a good pitch. Outside corner right here.
3-2 delivery again, and got him. And Kevin Millwood has got the second best walk to strikeout ratio. Doesn't hurt it right there. Orioles coming up. Orioles are looking for their first win here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. 0-6 in the first homestand. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the O's, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jones, Markakis, and Wieters, Tejada, Scott, and Wigginton. Hughes, Reimold, and Historis. Ryan Hughes with that 4 for 9, 2 RBIs, and a double to begin his major league career.
Take a look at Phil Hughes, the 6'5" right-hander out of Santa Ana, California. No-hit stuff. 1 hit in the first 7 innings, or actually 7 in the third. Eric Chavez hit a ball off him. Raining runs when he pitches. It does rain runs, contrary to what's going on with Kevin Millwood. And then lifetime numbers, and those are over again at 23. Those are when he was much less experienced, 2-2 with a inflated earned run average.
And Adam Jones will lead it off. Adam comes in with a 3-game hit streak. He's got a 4 for 8 and a homer off Hughes in the times he has faced him. A couple of the young players of the game. And Jones will take the pitch outside for a ball. Something the Orioles have not done a lot of, with the average of 212 and 3 home runs. Hitters may get a little overly aggressive. The Orioles have gone after some pitches, which have helped the pitchers a bit, and so they tried in that Boston series to be a little more patient, and in fact were, and it helped them out getting a win in that final game of the series. Adam, 1 ball, 1 strike. '23-year-old fastball found right off the top of the screen, 1-2.
Yeah, you get a pretty good idea. It's not always about the velocity, but that certainly can help. At 93, right in the happy zone of Adam Jones, and he fouls it straight back. He's got a curveball. Terry Crowley said, the scouting report said that's the Oriole hitting instructor, used his cutter against Oakland a lot, and then all spring long he was working on a changeup. So he's got 3 or 4 pitches to try to get you out.
1-2, and that is going to miss down low. He wants to use the changeup, he said, more than he has in past games that he's pitched. He's trying to go to it more and more. He's trying to get to the point where he will throw the changeup at any point in the count. That's what he's trying to get to with that pitch. 2-2 delivery on the way. Jones hesitated, drives it to center. Granderson is there. Adam double clutched on that, still drove it to deep center. Nick Markakis, a bat that has become hot for the Orioles, and none too soon. He found it at the end of the road trip and comes back home with a 4-game hit streak. 8 for 17, 3 doubles. No home runs this season, but hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, he's hitting it where they're pitching him, and because of the fact that Tejada missed 4 straight games, he's got 20 hits, 9 to left, 9 to center, only 2 to right field. They're pitching him right there. He usually doesn't swing at that pitch, but again, you can see it's pretty firm. 94 with good late moving from Phil Hughes.
Just under a .430 lifetime average against Hughes for Nick Markakis. As the Oriole hitters have some at-bats against him, not a lot. Pitch is going to be taken inside. Phil Hughes against the Orioles, 2 wins and 2 losses. Here at Camden Yards, he has pitched before, and a ballpark in which he's not had a win. He's gone 0-2 here in 2 starts and 3 games. Bear in mind that Hughes was a relief pitcher and a very good one before taking over the starting role.
Yeah, well, he came up, Gary, as you know, as a starter, and then last year started early on, struggled a little bit. They put him in the bullpen to set up Mariano Rivera, and he was splendid. I mean, unbelievably successful. 5-1, real low ERA. And that ball's off the corner. And if he's going to get that one, very, very difficult. And, Nick was commenting, he said, the umpires have actually been pretty good, but when you're throwing 94 and they give you a couple of inches off the outside corner, could be a tough night. And there are the numbers you've already been talking about.
Some pretty good numbers against him. Fouled away, and there'll be no play on that one.
Well, Dave Island, the pitching coach, said just seems more comfortable. He's always had a power arm, raced his way through the minor leagues. $1.4 million signing bonus back in 2004, coming out of high school in Santa Ana, California, down by Newport Beach. Corona Del Mar.
2 ball, 2 strike count, 1 away. Markakis waiting on it and swings and misses. Hughes gets the strikeout, and there are 2 down here in the first inning.
Yeah, that 94-mile-per-hour fastball, and again, it's not about what. Now they move in, and he just throws an exploding fastball that misses Posada's glove by 1.5 feet. And I mean, how often you see Markakis off-balance swing like that? It gives you an idea of how kind of movement and velocity on his heater.
Wieters, another one of the bats that came alive during the road trip. He comes in with an 8-game hit streak, the Oriole catcher. And during the streak, he's hitting .375. He's gone 12 for 32. He's tied for second in the American League with 8 multi-hit games, 8 of them. That's good enough for tied for second. And he's reached base in 17 of the 18 games that he has played in for the Orioles. And that's really offensively getting it done here in the month of April.
Yeah, he got the big hit on Sunday, the extra 2 runs, the base hit up the middle, the 6th and 7th run, which would make the difference in that 7-60 victory.
He's 0-2 in the only times he has faced Philip Hughes. Hughes has virtually been unhittable in the first 2 starts. I mean, opponents are hitting 100. Left-handers 87 against him. Right-handers 118. And a strike taken as Hughes gets it in, 2-2.
Well, we mentioned he's a big kid, and if you watch his windup, just imagine, because it throws a little across his body. In other words, he'll step a little bit towards the right-handed body. I got to imagine it's very difficult to see the ball.
2-2 delivery on the way. Wieters fouls it to protect.
Take a look at the Yankee defense behind Phil Hughes. And there he is, Gardner, who, as you mentioned, great left fielder. Granderson can run him down and throw. Randy Wynn, the veteran in right field. Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano to Sheriff. And probably more ranges than any other first baseman. And then the veteran, Jorge Posada, doing the catching tonight.
Yankees are second in defense in the American League, behind only the Minnesota Twins in fielding percentage. Twins are 9.97. They committed only 2 errors coming into today's play, and the Yankees are second. They've committed only 6 errors.
And it's a much more mobile defense, so it's not just about the errors, it's about how many balls you get to. Makes it even better.
3-2 delivery to Matt Wieters, and missed. Hughes is looking in because that is the pitch, as Jim was saying, that he did get earlier in the count for a strike.
Well, don't think in a subtle way, if he had called Matt Wieters out on this pitch, that Matt, when he got his gear, wouldn't have said, hey, wait a minute, are we going to get that pitch? And again, it was funny, and it's not because the Yankees are wearing their uniforms and the Orioles are wearing the orange and black, that Millwood didn't get any close pitches. And Hughes doesn't need it. His stuff's too good. Make him throw it over. That's what the Orioles are saying.
Here is Miguel Tejada with a runner on at first base and 2 down. Miggy also has picked it up. 9 for his last 17. And he's been hitting the long ball. Fouls that one back. 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Games this season, first 11, just 186. The last 4 hitting 529, and you see 4 of his 5 multi-hit games coming in the last 4 games.
Yeah, he doesn't take a whole lot of pitches either. I mean, he's one of the more aggressive hitters you're ever going to see. But then again, the ability to make contact.
Taking under 3 pitches per plate appearance, the fewest in the majors. 0-1 delivery to him, and that's that high strike on the inside corner, and that's one that usually doesn't get called. You can see by Tejada's reaction, he didn't think so. There's that number, 2.8 pitches per plate appearance. Nobody sees fewer. His career low is 3.42, so he is well below his career low number.
And the amazing thing about Wally Bell behind the plate, Millwood is much more controlled as far as to the glove. Yet, so far, Hughes seems to be getting the questionable pitches, even though he's missed Posada's glove. Actually struck out Marquez on the ball maybe 18 inches to 2 feet away from where the target was. Of course, Nick swung at that one, but so you usually have to earn your strikes. We'll see how that progresses as the game goes on.
Tejada, 4-game hit streak in which he has that 9 for 17. A throw over for reasons only someone higher above would know, with Matt Wieters on at first base.
Young pitcher, inexperience, one of the keys. Youth versus experience.
How much of that comes from
the
bench, though?
No.
Well, I don't know. I
can't imagine.
0-2 count.
You never know, though.
Yeah, you never know. Tejada, the center. Granderson started back, charging in, diving, and makes the catch. He misjudged it initially and had to use his speed to recover, and does. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Granderson in center. First big defensive play of the game. league last year. Our Luna doubles board. Here's A-Rod. One hopper to short. One pitch. 1 out.
Boy, that's got a nice ring to it if you're Kevin Millwood in the O's. Make your pitch. Aggressive hitter. As you mentioned, 585 home runs coming off. Really, probably that's, at least in baseball world, set him free. That great postseason with the 6 home runs and 18 RBIs. So A-Rod, hits a pitcher's pitch early on. That's exactly what you want. Not for him, but if you're Kevin Millwood. So it's our Fab Five. Look at the American League second baseman in the American League East. I mean, look at Cano's right up there with him. A lot of people, Reggie Jackson actually was saying that now Robinson Cano is a better second baseman than anybody else, especially Pedroia. So they'll battle that. We'll see, but he's a pretty special player, and it seems like he's maturing very quickly in all phases of the game.
Well, one of the things we were talking with the Yankees about today was his performance at the plate so far. He's got a shot at a batting title. He almost got one a couple of years ago. But he's doing this a lot more. He's taking more pitches. Cano used to be a free swinger to some degree. You look at the pitches per plate appearance. In 09, it was 3.39. He is up that to 3.49. And as the season goes along, his hope is that will increase even more. He wants to be one of those really patient Yankee hitters and hit only those pitches that he chooses to swing at.
And he has the ability to do that. I mean, he's got like a magic wand. We talk about Ichiro, and Carew was one of those guys, Boggs, and Brett. I mean, guys that are in the Hall of Fame. And right there, that's a pitch that he would have wailed at last year, and he just takes it.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Cano comes in with the best average against right-handers in the American League. He's hitting .404 off righties against Kevin Millwood. He has struggled a bit. Does have one hit, a home run off it. Strike taken on the inside corner, and the count goes full 3-2. This season for Cano, that's a big start.
Yeah, it really is. And then of the 5 home runs, he doesn't hit quite as well as that .404, but .286 with 3 home runs. It's a nice guy. I mean, it never seemed to me that he's had a problem hitting lefties.
3 ball, 2 strike delivery from Millwood. Down the line in left field, that's headed foul.
It was interesting in talking to Kevin Long, the hitting instructor for the Yankees. He said, I said, how do you explain the .207 batting average with runners in scoring position in 209? He said, well, pitchers pitch you differently when you get to 2 strikes, and he has to understand it. So again, you can be aggressive early on in hitters counts, but when you get guys on, they're gonna try to tough it out, and you just have to be aware of that as a hitter.
And he's fighting him off here with that 3 ball, 2 strike count for Kevin Millwood, trying to retire the side in order again. Kevin making his 10th career start against the Yankees. He has 2 wins and 4 losses against them here at Camden Yards. 7 career starts in this ballpark overall. He's 4-3. That one's going to be to the corner. Markakis off the wall is going to hold Cano to a long single, and Cano is the first base runner for the Yankees.
Yeah, he's pretty used to that because we saw a lot of that in the new Yankee Stadium. I mean, his ball just whacked. It gets just a little moving cutter, maybe a slider in the middle of the plate, and that's not going to get him out. And then right there, you can see the spin. It's not a conventional fastball. Ends up in the middle of the plate, and the way he's hitting. So what? That .404 gets even higher against right-handed pitching.
He's on. That's a 6-game hit streak now for Cano. And here's Jorge Posada. Posada, switch hitter, batting left here on the season so far. 289 left, 375 right. He has 4 home runs. He's hit 2 each way. Posada's 3 for 14 with a home run lifetime off Millwood. Robinson Cano back to the bag. Cano with a couple of stolen bases in 3 chances. The Yankees are 19 for 24 as a team stealing bases, and Cano testing Millwood early as he's got a pretty good lead over there. Posada will take it for a strike.
Yeah, that's another facet of his game. I mean, last year he stole 5 and got called out 7 times. So again, one of these runners, and you can't play the infield and end up being as good as he is at second base if you don't have quick feet. That's what all infielders have.
That's in there for a strike. And from the inside to the middle, Jorge Posada turns around to Wally Bell.
Well, see, I actually think that was a strike, but I think Jorge understands, as he caught the first inning, pretty wide plate on occasion tonight. He doesn't want it to be wide when he's hitting them.
0-2 delivery, and that's going to miss up high. 1 ball, 2 strikeout on Posada. Orioles last year battled the Yankees tough. They'd like to do it again right now, starting this series of 18 games out with this one tonight. 1-2 delivery and a chopper towards second. Wigginton's going to look to short. There's one really over to first. Not in time. Tough play as Wigginton had a long way to go to get it to Asturias.
Yeah, Posada's trying to get it by Wigginton into right field. Watch him jump on his high fastball and try to hook it into right field, but Wiggy says, And then again, this is a long double play, so even Jorge Posada now, of course, if he had hit this ball from the right side, probably would have been a double play. You can see Asturias, nice job of clearing Cano and making a good strong throw, but Jorge able to get down and keep the inning alive.
So a runner on at first base now with 2 away, and that will bring up Curtis Granderson. He hasn't had a hit in his last 13 at bats. Struggling on the road trip, average down to 246, couple of homers, 7 RBIs. He has drawn 9 walks, and the pitch is in there for a strike to him. There aren't many of these Yankees who will swing at the first pitch. Period.
Only Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod's the only one who's done it so far.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with looking in a certain area and thinking you're getting your pitch. I think that's the whole premise. So when the Moneyball came out, everybody said walk, walk, home runs, blah, blah, blah. But it's not, and I think it's probably best by Derek Shelton in the Tampa Bay. It's controlled aggression. Get your pitch. Don't swing a pitcher's pitch early in the count.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and got him. Had him fooled. Millwood gets his second strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Kevin Millwood with a couple of Ks early in the game.
Of having consistency in 2 areas. He said the leadoff man and the closer. He said look at a team like the Yankees. They have Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera. Imagine them playing without those 2 players. Well, I asked Mark Teixeira that question. He said I can't even imagine that. Having those 2 players there has been a big reason for our success over the past decade plus. He said they're 2 of the best players in the game, and there's comfort in knowing that Derek Jeter is always going to set the tone and Mariano Rivera is always going to come in and close the game. Well, look at the Orioles on the opposite opposite end of that spectrum. Right now they're playing without a leadoff man, and Brian Roberts, Adam Jones is trying to fill that role, but it's obvious that that hole is glaring. And as for a closer, Dave Tremblay said before the game, I don't have a closer. It's up for grabs. Whoever wants it needs to come and take it. So until the Orioles are able to find some consistency in those two crucial positions, it's going to be very difficult to move away from these struggles, Gary.
Yeah, and he was very clear that, in fact, the entire bullpen now is up for grabs. No closer, no setup, and really doesn't have him lined up in any particular way. He's going to put in the ball game at any given moment whom he thinks gives the Orioles the best chance to get the outs.
Yeah, and then that's where the problem lies. If you think this guy can do the job, it's up to him to do it. And that's the point that I think, as a former player, hey, if they give you the opportunity, it's not like just because you've never closed, it doesn't mean you can't. Jim Johnson is certainly capable, stuff-wise, now, whether emotionally or whatever, to be able to close. There are a lot of guys out there that could come in and pitch the ninth inning and get 3 outs. They're going to get an opportunity. They need to seize that opportunity, or otherwise this club isn't going to move forward.
Clay Meredith did.
Yes, he did.
He got a save, first opportunity he had. Luke Scott, designated hitter in this ball game, and Scott will take it outside. He is 4 for 7 lifetime off use for Luke. Scott with a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs, trying to get the average going. He is at 207 on the season. Luke coming off a 6 for 33 on the road trip. Phillip Hughes with a 2-2, and Scott again will pump that one back. Hold the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that 88-mile-per-hour slider down in the middle of the plate is going to go a long way if he makes another mistake. When you throw a 94, boy, you better get it going. And then when you throw 88 in the middle of the plate, you are going to speed the bat up. And they have it down as a slider. So I think that's that cut fastball that the scouting report told him about.
2-2 delivery coming, and Scott, a broken bat, base hit out of the reach of Jeter. Well, the Orioles get the leadoff man on against Hughes, who retires 71% of such leadoff batters. O's and Yankees continue their series, Oriole Park tomorrow and Thursday. Both games 7:05. Good seats still remain for this great rivalry. Help paint the park orange. Buy your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. A football-like dressed crowd for this one. 56 when we started. Temperatures going down at least into the mid-40s, and in the valleys outside the city it's supposed to be in the 30s.
Really?
High 30s.
I'm glad I bought this. Not only bought but brought.
Brought and bought.
Or bought. Well, I had to get it in San Francisco because if you try to find a raincoat in Palm Beach in April, it's going to keep you warm in Seattle and Boston.
Not going to work.
Nope. Not. Even though I still have Tom Davis's, where we could huddle. Everybody in the booth
could all get
in that.
Yes.
It was a freebie though, so I guess I shouldn't be complaining. No. Sorry, Tom.
Orioles hot bat, as it has been for the month of April, belongs to Ty Wigginton. He is 5th in the league in home runs, 4th in the American League in slugging. The road trip, 324, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. Really got it done. Again, Hughes making throws over. You have to believe to try and pick up that half step for the potential double play.
I don't think so.
You don't think? He's not going to run.
Well, I tell you what, you're his best friend because Luke's not running. I mean, you just got to concentrate on the hitter here. Now, the one thing about the Yankee catchers are not doing much of a job. Cervelli, who last year threw out, I think, over 60%. Francisco, he's 0 for 5. And Posada's 3 for 15. And it's not always their fault. Last year I think the concern for Jorge coming off shoulder problems was could he throw, and he actually threw pretty well last year.
George, as he's affectionately known by his teammates, heads back behind the plate. Or if you've seen the commercial with he and his manager in it, George, it's for you. A 2-strike count. There's Joe Girardi, his acting teammate. See, that's a bad commercial, though, because I can't remember who it's for.
I can't.
You know? Okay, never mind. It's probably a competing interest, so we don't want to.
Yeah.
All right.
It is.
0-2 count. Scott on at first base, nobody out.
Even though Masson is on that carrier.
Okay, good. Okay.
No, I mean, it's. Well, I'm thinking that the other day when we were going to semi-walk the intentional walk, that George Steinbrenner would have been able to. Joe, the phone's for you. It's George.
Okay.
Not the other George.
Not the other George.
let's walk this guy, not throw the 3-run home run.
Tony Pena, you saw giving signs. I was talking about that. I think what they want to do with runners, as with most teams, is signal from the dugout. We were talking about the throwovers. Tony Pena, tremendous catcher in his day, now the Yankee coach. Jorge Posada is looking over there for signs from Tony as to whether or not they want to go over to first base or hang on to the ball. He's clearly got a cold nose. That's what that sign was. 0-2 count. Scott off first. Long at bat here for Wigginton. That's the third throw over to first base by Hughes.
Well, the Orioles haven't hit, I don't remember them hitting running on the. Yeah, they actually did. They did run and hit one time. But it's not a hit and run count. 0-2. You're not sending a runner here.
Here's the delivery to Wigginton. He'll take it. Wigginton only 1 hit and 4 at-bats against Hughes, but it was the long ball.
Well, actually, Luke did have 2 stolen bases back in 2008.
Who was in front of him heading to third? Brian Roberts?
Yeah, well, could have been.
Yep.
It might have been a double steal. My point, he didn't try to steal. He didn't even attempt to steal last year.
No. Nor will he this year, in all likelihood. 1-2 delivery. Wigginton, a shot right through the box. Anderson will get it, and back-to-back singles to lead off the second inning.
Yeah, so again, you have a young pitcher, 23, who is almost coming off a near no-hitter, at least for the first 7 innings. 0-2, why do you want to distract him? Just let him go do his job, especially when the guy's not running. And then your hottest hitter, Terry Crowley probably said it best. He said it's tough hitting off the bench, which Wigginton did a lot of last year. Because of injuries, he's getting to play, and he is showing the Orioles, Terry Crowley, me, you, everybody that's watching, that this guy's a hitter. He's not missing his pitch now.
And the next guy showing us the same thing. I asked Terry Crowley tonight about Ryan Hughes. I said, all right, give me the words you use, what you see so far. And Terry said, quick, power, and a presence. Quick bat with power and a presence at the plate. He comes up to hit. 2 on, nobody out. Pitches away. He is, of course, broken in with a base hit in his first pitch seen at Fenway Park, the home of his baseball hero, Ted Williams, whom he idolized growing up. Spent the early part of the day when he arrived walking around in left field at Fenway when nobody was there. Swung on and missed. 1-1. And he does bring a presence. I mean, he comes to the plate ready to go. Hughes called up, got the start at first, delivered a single on his first pitch. Has picked up a couple of RBIs in the games that he has played in so far. And you really have to like just the way he approaches the plate.
Well, very relaxed.
That one in the air, left field. Gardner. 1 down. He has joined former Oriole Jeffrey Hammonds as the only 2 Orioles to start their careers with 2 hits and an RBI in each of their first 2 ball games.
Yeah, Jeffrey, the #1 draft choice back in, I don't know, early 90s out of Stanford. In fact, I was looking the last year the Orioles had a winning record, and they went wire to wire for Davey Johnson. Was 1997. Hammonds had like 20-some home runs that year. Gifted young player, and Dave Island out, and the pitch count already. And this is good news for the Orioles, as you're only in the second inning. 36 pitches, so they'd like to run that pitch count up.
The Yankees bullpen has, if there has been a problem for this ball club, which comes in 12-6, it is the bullpen which has been hittable.
Well, compared to the starters, that's a good point. They're over 4 runs a game, but the starters are right around 3.
And that is taken up high. The Orioles, as you saw, have picked up the pace with runners in scoring position. That, too, part of the improvement they saw at the end of the road trip. They hit well over 300 against the Red Sox in the 3-game series. Reimold batting in the #8 spot. He's batted first and 8th now in the last couple of games. Takes the pitch up high. He's waiting, and the count goes to 2-0 from Hughes.
Yeah, he hung a cutter, then just kind of rushed a little bit, got the fastball up. So a great hitting count to a pretty good fastball hitter. To me, I mean, I got to think that Phil Hughes is going to be pretty predictable here, especially when he's struggling with his command. You can look for a fastball. I'd be surprised if you get something else.
2-0, and it's outside. We're talking about the starters for the Yankees compared to the bullpen. The Yankee starters have a 3.59 ERA. That's fourth best in the league. Their bullpen is 4.04. That is eighth in the league. The Orioles would like to get those starters out and that pen in if the numbers mean anything. 3-0 count. Runners on first and second. One down. Reimold taking. It is in there for a strike.
And he ought to get another one right here. They let him hit away 3-0 in Oakland. Hit a double off the top of the wall. After Rajah Davis's big leap got it over his glove.
Orioles got a chance here to get to the Yankees starter. 3-ball, 1 strike count. Hughes loads him up.
Now there's a Nolan Reimold that we know from last year. You know, a guy that's been struggling, especially with runners in scoring position. Only 1 for 15, and he takes a close pitch and loads him up.
So as Turris is going to bat with the bases loaded against Hughes. And with Island going out and Jorge Posada having gone out a couple of times, clearly there are things the Yankees are concerned with early regarding Philip Hughes here in the ball game. As Posada's had a couple of discussions.
Well, you know, you're only as good as your next start. So again, the no-hitter into the 8th inning against Oakland. Chavez broke it up. So this is a young pitcher that, you know, had a good spring, a little cooler, as you mentioned tonight, than it probably was in Oakland. So I think at 23, I mean, you know, we're not talking about Burnett or, you know, talking about Pettit. This is a little more high maintenance because of his lack of experience.
As Torres is 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position on the year. He's got the bases loaded here with only 1 away. Yankees playing for 2 with A-Rod in at third to guard against the bunt. But Hughes right now can't find it.
Well, and just think back again. You get the leadoff batter, Scott, and then he's thrown over to first base with Scott there for no reason. Got out of sorts. 0-2. Wigginton hits the ball back up the middle, and then he lost his command.
2-0 delivery on the way to his Torres. He'll take it, and it's ball 3.
And now Wally Bell behind the plate as the umpire is saying, you know what, you're going to have to earn some strikes. And he's all over the place.
Orioles with the bases loaded have gone 4 for 6, collecting a total of 8 RBIs in these situations on these. Check that, 5 for 11. And the pitch is ball 4. He walks in a run. As Turris 4 straight gets the RBI. Luke Scott crosses.
Take a look. You need to throw a strike, but again, there's a first pitch curveball, fastball not even close. That one a little bit closer, but it cuts. And then ball 4 well out of the zone. Been there, done this. It's very difficult. You have to you have to try to think about where your release point is, and for a young pitcher, sometimes that's hard to do.
Well, he's had trouble with the walks this season. I mean, that's going to be 9 walks in 14 innings that he's surrendered. Now he does have 17 strikeouts, but he's walked some people.
So if you're Adam Jones, you better look for a ball right in the middle of the plate. Be aggressive, but on your terms.
A little breaking ball that time is in for a strike. Jones flied out his first time up.
Yeah, I think that's that cut fastball. Yeah,
and the bullpen's active.
Yeah, we saw Sergio pitch at spring training and last year.
Jones was still just 1 down. Hughes a ground ball away from getting out of it. Jones a hit away from breaking it up. A-Rod 1, relay Cano, and there's the double play he needed. We'll see how that looms in keeping him in the ball game. The Orioles get a run on a couple of hits and a bases loaded walk, a 1-0 lead. Wynn having surrendered the 8th most hits in the league, but he's tied for 9th in strikeouts and the 3rd best fewest walks per 9-inning number. He's walked only 4 in 28 2/3 innings. Nick Swisher gets the DH job. Generally, he'll be out there in right field, but they wanted to bring Wynn in. And if you're wondering, the bottom part of the Yankee order is not going to be easy outs. Here you see Swisher and Wynn. They're batting 8th and 9th, but against Millwood, 345 and 611 are their batting averages at the bottom of the order. That one's going to be looped into right field just barely, and Swisher's on with a single. That just had enough to get out there. This weekend, the Orioles are going to be hosting the Red Sox, first time this season. Good seats still remain for each game. They will not last. Show Red Sox Nation what Birdland is all about. For tickets, call the O's 888-848-BIRD, to go to Orioles.com.
Yeah, Swisher was very happy with that little curveball. As we mentioned, Kevin doesn't throw it very often, and then 0-2, you'd like to kind of throw it under the strike zone. That one didn't quite end there. So Nick, he took advantage of that.
Wynn has not had the playing time to this point that he had hoped for. You see the 0 for 10 he's put up. That's the total at bats that he's had. He's got a string of zeros across his stat sheet, and looking to bunt maybe here with a runner at first base and nobody out. And Randy Wynn, as we said, 6 for 11 with 2 homers off Millwood, and he's a .318 career hitter in this ballpark. Lots of reasons to get him in the lineup and think maybe this is the night he can get going. 1-0 delivery. Millwood will miss with that outside. 2-0.
Well, usually when you have the kind of numbers that Randy Wynn has against Kevin Millwood, that means to me that he probably sees the ball coming out of his hand. Now, that'll be a little more difficult when you're not playing regularly. But that would tell me, because I had guys like this, they're getting good pitches to hit and they're not missing them.
2-0 deliveries way inside, and Millwood falls behind on Wynn. 3-0. Kevin Millwood not wanting to put Wynn on, obviously, with a runner at first in the top of the order. Derek Jeter waiting on deck.
Yeah, not with him hitting .417 with runners in scoring position.
He gets that one in there for a strike, and the count will go to 3-1. There's Jeter, who right now is 8th in that department with runners in scoring position in the league. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Swisher back to first base.
Now, Kevin throws over there just in case he may be running, but he didn't run last year either. Never a stolen base attempt. None. 0. Zilch. Nada.
And that's to center field. Jones coming. Can't make the play. It's a base hit. So the 2 with the big numbers get hits, and for Wynn, his first of the year. 2 on and nobody out.
And they do it in different patterns. 0-2 to Swisher, so Millwood was ahead of him, and then Randy Wynn works to count to 3-1 in his favor, and then picks a pitch and just pretty much as a switch here, what he does. He can hit home runs, but he's a line drive guy, and that's exactly what he does to get runners to first and second.
So Jeter will come up with a runner in scoring position and another one on at first, hitting .312 on the year. He grounded out his first time up. The Yankees are second in runs in the American League, averaging 5.3 a ball game, 4th in average. Outside, home run wise, they're also 4th with 22. There's the number with runners in scoring position, a homer and 10 RBIs when given the chance. He's got 2 on here, Swisher and Wynn, and nobody out.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of holes. I mean, over the years, then coming in with 2,771 hits, down and in, that 2-seamer, which is what he bounced to shortstop there. He lays off it.
If you're wondering how Jeter could be 8th with a .417 batting average, the leader in the American League is Elvis Andrus of Texas, who is hitting .600 with runners in scoring position. Kyle Crawford, Bartlett, Posednik, and Cabrera are all hitting .500 or better. That's why he's down the list. Fouls out back into the screen, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Orioles have the lead. Yankees threatening here in the top half of the third inning. 3 singles so far off Millwood, 2 though back-to-back here in the third. Dave Tremblay with a workhorse on the mound who has given him 3 really good starts. Pitch is going to be taken away. 2-2 on Jeter. You'd watch Kevin Millwood pitch the ball games he's pitched in, you just couldn't believe that he didn't have a win.
And you made a great terminology, pitch. He was at 35, and the pedigree of coming out of Atlanta. That's what he does.
Jeter just protecting there.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure about that, and he fouls it back 2-2.
I think he's been paying attention to the strike zone. It could be a little wondering tonight so far. But normally he never swings at that pitch.
Just kind of lunged at that, hoping it would be a foul ball.
Well, you have him again. The 2-seamer down and in might get the ground ball that he's looking for.
2-2 delivery on the way. There is the ground ball. Bobbled. And gets the out at first. Hughes wanted to hurry that throw to try and get 2. Ends up getting only 1.
Yeah, I think he wanted to do is get that lead runner, or at least the lead runner that's going from first to second. So there's your little cutter. There's a strike, 1-1. There's a good swing on a ball right down the middle, way off the corner. There's the one he just flicks foul, and then I said they don't go in, they go away. And of course, Jeter, you're never going to double him up. I think he just wanted to get that second potential run, and he couldn't get it. So, and again, he didn't overreact. Couldn't get a handle on it, just picked it up and tagged first. Didn't panic.
Now there are 2 in scoring position, and Gardner will come to the plate. Brett Gardner up, hitting at 320 overall. With the great speed he has, Tejada plays even with the bag at third, and the pitch is going to be way inside to him for a ball. Gardner, 357. With runners in scoring position for the Yankees.
Yeah, right now he'd like to do what he did the first time. Just hit a fly ball to center. That'd get a run in.
Double play depth accepted, or back rather, except at third base here. And the pitch is up high for Millwood. And he falls behind on him 2-0.
Yeah, I watched Brett Gardner hit last week, and he did a nice job. You think a lot of times a guy that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, you can just run the ball in on him, pitch him up in the strike zone. But he's been able to get on top of the high pitch. That's why he's hitting over 300.
Breaking ball and a good one. Going to catch the inside corner on Gardner. Gardner has had, on this road trip, some problems hitting, as have a number of them of late. But overall for Gardner, in a pretty good trip. He went 0 for 2 in Saturday's loss against the Angels. 6 for 19 on the road trip for him. 2 for 1 down to third, and off Tejada, and no play. Tejada playing in. That one got there in a hurry. Swisher scores, and the Yankees tie the ball game up at 1.
Well, that's why you got to play in, because of the bunt capabilities of Brett Gardner. And then again, this is the inexperience factor of Miguel Tejada. You know, shortstop moving over to third. He's kind of in between. You look at Turris. You know, the ball up, it's almost coming right off the grass where the dirt starts, which is where he's standing. So I think you almost have to come all the way in. You come in another step, you get it on the grass, they're going to call that an error, which is what it should be. Yeah.
Tejada charged with the error. And now there are runners on at first and second, still only 1 away. And Mark Teixeira, strikeout victim, his first time up, 1 hit in his last 13 times to the plate. Teixeira, to go along with his overall 118 batting average, is hitting 143 with runners in scoring position. Kevin Millwood trying to pick up his defense here and work his way out of this inning. Comes inside, taken, and a 2-1 strikeout to Teixeira.
I would suppose if you're the Yankees, you got to feel pretty good that you're 12-6 with him hitting the way he's hitting.
Well, that's the scary part, I would think, to other teams, is that he and Nick Johnson haven't done anything. And the Yankees are 12-6, a game and a half out of first. Millwood struggling to get ahead of the hitters here. Now a 3-1 strikeout on Teixeira. Lefties hitting 273. Right-handers 266 off him. 3-1. Thought that was ball 4. Yeah, it is. Teixeira wasn't sure, I guess.
Well, that's the kind of focus he's probably had, hitting 114. Didn't even know what the count was. I mean, or maybe he just thought a ball was called a strike.
Well, he took the mask off, kind of talking to him like you want to get down there or not. So the bases are loaded, and A-Rod, he came back last year here in Baltimore, delivered a home run, first game back as a Yankee, and then the Yankees took off from there. You see the career numbers this season, and against the O's, 309 with 50 home runs. Bases loaded. Rodriguez will go after the first pitch, as he did the first time up, and fouls it away. So, Wynn, who got a single at third. Gardner reached on an error. He's at second, and Teixeira with a walk is at first. And A-Rod gets the chance with the bases loaded, with the ball game tied at 1-1. Millwood's delivery to him. Check swing, foul ball.
No, Kevin earlier in the year against Toronto was kind of cruising along into the 8th inning, only 84 pitches. Miguel Tejada unable to come up with the ball, and then back-to-back home runs changed the fortunes of that game. So you hope that's not the case tonight.
A-Rod 1 for 2 with the bases loaded this year, both singles, 18 career grand slams.
And the mantra for starting pitchers: when somebody makes an error, you try to pick them up. You can't always do it, especially when you're in the heart of the lineup.
0-2 the count. A-Rod will foul it off the fist. Yankees have gone 8 for 26 with the bases loaded. Tells you something about their patience. They've been able to pick up 21 runs with the sacks full this year. The ball club with a couple of people not hitting very well.
Well, who's in trouble here? Kevin Millwood. I mean, I think that's what hitters sometimes fail to understand. I think the Yankees got a pretty good grasp of that.
0-2 delivery again, fought back.
I mean, when you get the bases loaded and 585 home runs, it's not that Kevin Millwood hasn't been down this road, because that's why, I mean, he's a pretty special pitcher, coming off a 13-game win season down in Texas at a hitter's ballpark. So it's not like he's panicked, but the only good news about it is he got him 0-2, so maybe he can get him to swing at the ball out of the zone.
That 0-2 delivery is a breaking ball outside. Wieters blocks it, and a 1-ball 2-strike count to him.
That's how this whole inning started, an 0-2 breaking ball to Nick Swisher, and didn't really get it where he wanted, and Swisher singled into right.
Frank Robinson next on the list. Down to third, there's one, and that's it. Hit so hard, the runners didn't have time to get off the base.
Well, I told you, Miguel Tejada said, I feel like I'm 15. You better have the reflexes of a 15-year-old, or this ball is scorched. Wow, what a great view right here. I mean, you can see him center that ball, and again, if it's in the air, it's going out of here. That's a great story about Frank Howard hit a ball that Brooks jumped for and it went into the stands. Surprised he didn't catch it because he was Brooks Robinson, but
rising line.
Yes, it was.
All right, Robinson Cano extended his hit streak to 6 with a single in the second inning. Bases remain loaded, but now there are 2 down. Cano, he had a bases loaded walk, and the only time he's had the sacks full this year. And he'll foul that one away. Millwood going to work his way out of it.
Well, a great mound present for Kevin Millwood. And if you're a young pitcher, I learned from Robin Roberts and some of the other veterans who are on the ball club. If you're a young Oriole pitcher, this is what you want to pay attention to. Not panicking. The game's not speeding up. He's got one of the best hitters at the plate. Going to still try to make his pitches. Doesn't mean it's going to work all the time, because that's just not the way the game always goes. But
one of the reasons Kevin Millwood was acquired, obviously, 1, because they needed a starter, but 2, they wanted a veteran starter whom the youngsters could look to. And he has been that. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Sacks loaded, 1 run in that came on the walk surrendered. Teixeira got 1. Error. Gardner reached. A couple of singles to create the RBI. Here's the 1-1. Floats that one outside. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
And you try to learn from your past at bats, and what he hit the last time that could have been a double. Cano, he hit a sharp line drive off, put a couple of hops off the right field wall. Markakis played it into a single. So you're trying to figure out, what did I do last time that, and now of course the count's getting in Robinson's favor. What can I do this time? And it's difficult because this guy can cover the whole plate.
2-1 delivery, fly ball right field. Nick Markakis. He's under it. And a great job by Kevin Millwood. Only 1 run in on a couple of hits and an error. Yankees leave the bases loaded. 1-1. Red Sox will be coming in. 1-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. All these 3 games against the Yankees are 7:05 start times. It will be Jeremy Guthrie and CC Sabathia tomorrow night. Brian Mattis and A.J. Burnett both 2-0 in game 3. Here's Nick Markakis. Strikeout victim, first time up against Phil Hughes, who has walked 2 and struck out 1. 1-2-1 for the Orioles. They've left 3. 1-3-0 for the Yankees. They have left 4. And that was an earned run, by the way, in the 3rd inning. 0-1 delivery. Markakis will take it inside. The Orioles facing tonight Philip Hughes with that 100 batting average. That's the lowest average of any pitcher so far. CC Sabathia, teams hitting 161. That's the 3rd lowest average in the majors. The Orioles get to see both of them here in this series.
Yeah, 4 for 40 is a pretty good way to start the year off. If you're Philip Hughes pitching for this team, that getting them over 5.5 runs a game. So both of the pitchers have gotten out of bases loaded jams. A little different way of doing it.
2-ball, 1-strike count to Markakis, and he will take that pitch down low. So they're making Hughes work here. He too is struggling with that strike zone and falling behind hitters.
Yeah, he threw the first pitch, and Markakis very, very late on it, and then hasn't located even close to the strike zone in the next 3.
3-ball, 1-strike delivery. Markakis takes it, is there. Nick, 4-game hit streak, which has gone 8 for 18 now. Coming off that real good road trip where he hit .333 and got the bat going. Hughes 3-2. Markakis fouls it away.
Well, he's got to swing at that ball because Wally Bell called the 3-1 pitch about 2-3 inches off the plate, and they know about it. Jeter did it just last inning. Questionable 2-2 pitch. You'd think it'd be a low-scoring affair. Young kid with great stuff, veteran with the the wiliness of being able to command his stuff, the hitters would think they'd have a problem.
3-2, Markakis. A-Rod. And there'll be no play on that. And it'll stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Great story today. Some of the Yankee front office and broadcasters got invited to the Supreme Court today in Washington to take the championship trophy for the justices to see, because Justice Sotomayor is a big Yankee fan, and she had asked if they would do that, and so they did. And they brought all the other justices into her office while the trophy was there. 3-2 delivery. Markakis to left field. Gardner is there right on him. He's got it. And Justice Breyer came in. Justice Breyer's a big Red Sox fan. So Susan Wallman, who was there, the announcer for the Yankees on radio, said, "Would you like to have, here's the ring, the World Championship ring. You can hold that and get your picture taken with a trophy, and here's a Yankee hat if you'd like to." And so Breyer said, "Oh, sure, fine." So he took the ring, took the hat, got in to stand in the picture, and then threw the hat away and pulled out his Boston hat, and the picture taken with the Yankee championship trophies with his Boston Red Sox hat.
Yeah, can't change your spots, can you?
No, and who's going to tell the justice that he can't put the Red Sox hat in the picture?
Well, how about Derek Jeter telling the president yesterday when they visited the White House, there are a lot of Yankee fans that vote, so, enough of this White Sox stuff.
That didn't move him either.
No.
That one is popped up to left field by Waiters. Gardner is there again, and he's got it. And there are 2 down here in the 3rd inning. Orioles inviting all Little League players and their coaches. Sign up. One of the club's 2 upcoming Little League days at Oriole Park, May 2 and Sunday, May 16. Pre-registered Little Leaguers can parade around the warning track here at Camden Yards. And to sign up for your team, just call 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Young man who thinks it's warm up. T-shirt on watching the ball game here. Here's Miguel Tejada, rather. Tejada flied out to center. Granderson's going to make the highlight reel on the catch he made. What they won't show is the fact that he had to make the catch because he backed up in the ball.
Yeah, he took one of those drop steps. And it's hard to tell. It seems like the wind's blowing in. At least it's blowing into the booth. And then he had to come galloping in and made a great diving play.
That one fouled off. Luke Scott tried to explain that to me today, and he did it with arm motions and head gestures and everything. We were standing behind home plate, and the wind's blowing right in your face. I said, "You're not going to hit the ball out." He said, "Well, let me tell you something." I said, "What happens is," said, "the wind right now is blowing in from right. It comes around the stadium. It goes all the way around, and it hits a warehouse. Then it comes back in and shoots out towards that one opening in center field." And he said, "If you can get a ball into the jet stream, into that open alleyway in left center," said, "you can hit a ball out."
Well, that's good to know.
But he said that's the only place you're going to hit a ball out with the wind blowing the way it is tonight.
Well, Matt Wieters hit one and really hit it well, and all the hitters were gone. Only went 3 rows out. We're done for tonight.
Give up.
And then Wally Bell along with him. I mean, it's all over.
0-2 delivery foul back. The wind has died down considerably from what it was at game time.
I can see, you take all those factors in there, umpire, wind, and all that. Won't be more than 3 hours and 20 minutes tonight.
No. You said more?
No, it won't be more.
It won't be less.
Well, it could be right at 3:19, 3:21.
Yankees and Red Sox holding their own, guaranteeing long games wherever they travel.
Yeah, the concessionaire's best friends.
They are. Philip Hughes, here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be fouled into the seats.
Well, you could see that, again, 93, 94, 91, hiding the ball well because everybody laid on it. Not really getting around, not generating enough bat speed to get the bat head out. That's why you got to wait for a cutter in the middle of the plate, and somebody's going to hit a 2-3 run home run.
Hughes has had the Orioles fight off a number of good pitchers up and down the lineup here. 2 down. The 0-2 delivery. Tejada, did he go? Check it first. No. Jorge Posada tried to buy it by starting to walk to the dugout, but did not convince Laz Diaz. One and 2.
Well, this is what Laz is looking at. Not buying it, but looking at it.
It's a good try. 1-2 delivery from Hughes. Jammed him. No play.
The amazing thing is that you can even get that ball close to being in play. He's about 4 inches inside. Gives you an idea. I mean, the one thing about Miguel, I mean, the ability to make contact. 199 hits last year, 45 doubles. But then again, he's a free swinger. I guess the good news is that he is able to control that. And a lot of guys swing at bad pitches and just go back to the dugout. He a lot of times goes to first or second base with a base hit or a double.
Third most difficult batter to strike out in the American League, even with those few pitches he sees. Miguel Tejada. 1-2 delivery, and he fouls off another one, and he is working use here. He's gone through the repertoire. He hasn't found one yet he can get Tejada out on. Hardest to fan, Juan Pierre of the White Sox, and then Victor Martinez of Boston is the second most difficult hitter to strike out. Then Tejada. Brett Gardner in this game in left field for the Yankees is 10th in that department. 1-2, and again holds up on it. 2-2.
Is Pedroia in it yet? Because last year, what, 45, 46 strikeouts and 620 at bats. He's usually up there with the contact guys.
Pedroia has not made that list. That's because he had to bat third and thought he had to hit some home runs. And
yeah, real good point there. Got him out of that spot.
Yep. 2-2 delivery by Hughes. Tejada rips that one to left. Gardner going back. Gardner's there and makes the catch. So it's a Gardner inning. 3 fly balls to left field and a 1-2-3 in a 1-1 ball game.
From Casey Cares Foundation. It's a program for critically ill children. They took them to the Maryland Science Center as part of their foundation's Fun for 21 program. They watched a movie, shared lunch, took some photos, and Nick signed some autographs. The Markakis family also donated their suite to Casey Cares tonight. Nick and Christina's Right Side Foundation offers select groups of 21 children with experiences that enable them to forget about the obstacles in their lives and enjoy the fun of being a child. So great cause, a great foundation, and some kids having some fun at the ballpark tonight. Gary?
And you know, Amber, there's nobody cheering more for Nick tonight than the people in that suite, as the kids up there watching the ball game and watching Nick play. Here's Jorge Posada. Posada hit into a fielder's choice first time up. Goes after the first one here and headed to the seats. Jorge Posada, he's had only a couple of hits in his last 17 at bats, including the 0 for 1 he's had in the ball game tonight. Posada overall, though, at .309, 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. And not another. Way back right field, and goodbye home run. Jorge Posada makes it a 2-1 Yankee lead.
Yeah, you know, he came in 3 for 15 with a home run, so now make it 4 for 16. It goes all the way up to 250 with 2 home runs. And puts the Yankees ahead. You know, he's always been, either side, one of the better fastball hitters around. 248 home runs now, and this ball just sizzles out of here. Trying to get it in, and ends up right in the middle of the plate, and contact means home run here when you hit it that hard and elevate it.
So number 5 on the year for Jorge Posada. He's got 12 RBIs. The first lefty to have a home run off Millwood this season. Strike taken by Granderson. 5 home runs off Kevin on the year. First by a lefty. Granderson struck out his first time up. 0-1 to him, will be fouled away in a 2-strike count. Take a look. Career ground ball, fly ball differentials here. Millwood, ground ball pitcher. This year even up. 5 home runs. Guthrie, ground ball pitcher a bit. This season that's gone down a little. Pitches inside. Brian Mattis, a fly ball pitcher, as is David Hernandez. It's just interesting, the home runs, there haven't been many, have come off the pitchers who generally get more ground ball outs.
And if you get 5 or 6 runs a game, usually don't worry about that.
Hughes.
Yeah, so, but for Millwood, who came in 4 starts, 8 runs, that really makes a big difference. I never worried about solo home runs unless it's 1-1 going into the 9th inning, and then obviously you're concerned. But if you throw the solos and you're not 3-run variety and you hang around like he did, he got a complete game loss up in Seattle. He had the 1 bad inning, didn't give up any home runs in that inning, but just a leadoff walk, and the Mariners got 4 runs and just got outpitched by Felix Hernandez.
Yankees are catching up to where they were last year using the long ball. Pitch is taken by Swisher. He singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Yankees were first last year in home runs per game. They came in 3rd into today's play. They're going to be right up there, though, with the Bronx Bomber numbers again. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Swisher, the DH. Yankees have loaded this lineup with left-handed batters against Millwood, with Gardner a lefty, Cano a lefty, then Jorge Posada, Swisher, Wynn, all switch hitters, and Granderson a left-hander. You've only got the Jeter there at the top of the order.
Well, the Yankees need, I mean, Yankees were 12-24 when they didn't hit a home run last year, on the way to 103 wins. The winning percentage in the big leagues, as that ball's popped up to the left side, and the Steelers will take it, is down like 33%. So home runs are very significant.
Yep. And the Yankees have been able to, over the last few seasons, again, drive the ball out the top of the pile in the league. Joe Girardi's team a game and a half behind Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay leading Oakland 7-4 in their ball game tonight in Florida in the 4th inning. Here's Wynn. He singled, got his first hit of the season, 1 for 11 on the year now, making the start in right field. Second time he has started in right. And Wynn will foul away Millwood's pitch.
Yeah, Kevin says, I'm not going to get behind you and let you single to center. Randy Wynn took a 3-1 fastball and hit it right in front of Adam Jones in center field his first time up.
Delivery. That is taken for a strike. Millwood, like so many of the starters, comes out knowing the runs probably aren't going to be there. 8 runs in his first 4 starts. So he was doing it by keeping people off base, not surrendering walks, getting strikeouts. He just slipped on that one.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times. The important thing on a very slick night, temperatures are going to end up in the 40s, is really have to try to stay on top of that breaking ball, and when it slips out of your hand, impossible to do it.
1-2 delivery, and that's going to be down low. So a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Randy Wynn. Very good career hitter, decent speed, and looking to get some playing time with the Yankees. Here's the 2-2. Miguel Tejada, and makes the catch. Took a look to see where those seats were, found them, and made a nice play. The home run by Jorge Posada leading the inning off. A run on a hit with nobody left on base, and the Yankees have taken a 2-1 lead. Southwest Airlines. On Sunday, May 16, fans get a reserve Utah Street bleacher seat, an exclusive 2110 Utah Street t-shirt, only $21. Nick and Adam will be out there interacting with the fans. Special promotions and prizes as well. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. And I'm watching Phil Hughes on the mound. Luke Scott had a single and scored the Orioles run on an RBI bases loaded walk to his Taurus. The Yankees responded. They got an RBI from Gardner, who reached on an error in the third, and a home run by Jorge Posada to lead off the fourth to take the 2-1 lead. The Tremblay's walk up, trying to put a couple of wins together back to back. Scott hitting at 220, and will foul that one back for his 2-strike count.
Yeah, that's a little cut fastball, and it just has a little bit of a movement. Hold it a little off center. Acts like a slider. So he's got a curveball. We only seen it a couple of times. We haven't really, I don't even know if he's thrown a changeup tonight. And that was the pitch here. Of course, Philip Hughes and Jabba Chamberlain battled it out in spring training. Chamberlain at the back end of the bullpen to get to Rivera. And Hughes became the starter.
Scott.
Yeah, see, Wally Bell wanted
a little jelly leg.
Yeah.
One,
Oh, yeah.
Didn't go. 1-2.
One of those hanging curveballs that just almost came back and got the top reaches of the strike zone. Might as well go back to the 60s and the 70s when the catcher stood up. When I played, no, maybe a little bit earlier than that, but when they called that high strike, Yogi stood up, right?
Well, Yogi.
Or maybe that was just Don Larson on the last pitch of that perfect game in the World Series.
Swung on, fouled off outside of first. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. You joined us late. The Orioles today picked up the contract of Alfredo Simon from AAA. He was 1-1, 4 games, 3 as a starter. Cam Michalaya was optioned to Norfolk. So the bullpen battles go on.
Yeah, Matt Albers is out of options, and that might have had something last year, up and down 4 times.
Scott just finding a way to get a piece of that and foul it back and hold it at a ball and 2 strikes.
Now, wouldn't you say Luke Scott seems to be a pull hitter, yet they play him a couple of steps to left center field. And they give him a huge gap in right field. And Granderson, who can go get him, is the center fielder's over. Randy McPhail looking on.
And he caught himself on TV, quickly looked away, wanting to remain humble at all costs. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Swung on, fouled off.
Yeah, that pretty good curveball there. Yeah.
That's a pretty good changeup pitch right there.
Yep. Well, he had them all. I mean, they rushed him through the minor leagues. You figure, boy, it's just a matter of time. Came up, and early on he had a no-hitter in one of his, I think his first major league start, pulled a hamstring, then in rehab twisted an ankle. That took care of that year. Struggled the next year. He and Ian Kennedy, they were like 0-8 a couple of years ago. Last year, pretty good starting, better out of the bullpen.
1-2 delivery to Scott is going to be up high. And boy, he's throwing pitches. I think that's 74 now.
Well, he's a young guy, and he's going to learn that, to command his stuff. It's not about ability. It's just a matter about controlling that natural stuff. And when you throw the breaking ball and when you speed up the bat and when you knock it out of their hands. And that's not even close. Dropping his arm, and it's been one of those nights. But when he needed to get out of the inning, he got the double play to Adam Jones. Made 2 good pitches after completely losing his release point.
Maybe the biggest out of the ball game so far was
the Orioles.
that double play in the second inning. 3 ball, 2 strike counts. Scott has worked it. And Luke draws a walk. So leadoff walk here in the 4th inning, and that is walk number 3, picked up by the Orioles. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Who holds the highest single season batting average among Yankees' 3rd baseman? Highest single season. Nettles?
No. Well, you got to have a moment here. Not Clete Boyer.
That's going to be A-Rod, right? I mean, it's a where are we question. A-Rod's got that one. Cano bounces. It'll get by, but backed up by Jorge Posada. Scott retired. Wigginton at first.
I'm going with Jerry Coleman.
Jerry Coleman.
No, I'm just kidding. I hope we'll see in San Diego. Yeah, slowly hit balls so you make sure you get one. And then Cano on the bounce throw and the swipe by Teixeira.
All right, Wade Boggs.
Oh, that Boggs guy.
Remember?
3,000 hits and whatever.
342 and 94.
Sorry, Wade. I'm really apologize. Fellow Hall of Famer. I should have known that. Well, I shouldn't have, because I never know any of this. I mean, they got 27 world champions. They've been playing since, the late 1800s. How would I know?
You wouldn't know.
I don't know.
I agree. It's no problem.
Not losing any sleep over it either.
Good. Here's Ryan Hughes, runner on at first base. Wigginton. Hughes will take it for a strike. He flying out to left field.
At least I hope I don't lose any sleep over it.
First time up. 0-1 count.
Well, you might. Now, again, Greg Zahn, he was traded down to Tampa Bay. They needed a backup catcher, and that's how we got Ryan Hughes, or that's how the Orioles got Ryan Hughes.
He's here to stay. If he continues to make the approach to the plate that he has so far. The power bat the Orioles have longed for this season, maybe this left-hander.
Well, they're going to exploit him, and of course, I'm sure they got all the reports from their minor league guys, and every scout, not only at the major league level but in the minor leagues, they try to chronicle all the players, catalog them. So they had the book on him. And he's going to get worked on, because you're going to see some pretty good pitching over the next couple of weeks, and it just looks to me, he's very relaxed. Looks like he can hit the ball the other way. That's what I saw in spring training. That's impressive. For a big guy, he's not trying to hit home runs, he just hits them.
0-2 delivery. The off-speed pitch is going to miss up high. He was batting .353 at Norfolk. 3 home runs and 11 RBIs when he was called up. As we said, he was the hottest hitter in the Orioles minor league organization at the time, and that's what the Orioles were looking for. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Breaking ball, and it's there to get him. Hughes with his second strikeout.
Yeah, I don't know if you see that kind of curveball very often down in the minor leagues, because this is the shoe top drop right there. Starts off the corner and breaks about a foot. Perfectly thrown. Could not ask for a better curveball if you're Philip Hughes, Joe Girardi, or the catcher Jorge Posada.
Nolan Reimold drew a walk his first time up. Wigginton draws the throw over at first base. There are 2 down now. Yankees have the 2-1 lead. Wigginton a very short lead over there. Reimold will take it. We were talking about Hughes and what he did out of the bullpen. 44 relief appearances last year. He was first in the majors, going 5-1, 3 saves, and a 1.4 ERA, the best relief ERA in the majors.
And how about the strikeouts? Yeah, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's a little different job. He could come in and just power his way through an inning or two. You know, when you start, again, you talked about the pitch count, now 84. You have to have a little bit different, I think, game plan in the sense that, you know, you got to establish your breaking ball, see how the fastball, and see how the hitters react, and then pitch off that.
That to short, force play at second. Jeter will go and just gets him. Boy, a very close play. John Hirschbeck with a call at second base as Wigginton was hustling down. Take a look. Jeter to Cano. Ooh-ah. 2-1 Yankees. An Orioles investor on hand with the family to watch the opener of this series against the Yankees, and being a mom up there in the suite.
Well, I remember when she went to McDonough and almost won Wimbledon, I think, when she was 16, was one of my neighbors. So on snowy days, I'd get a call, come on, you got to come over to Green Spring Tennis and hit balls. Nobody else can get there. So I would take my snowplow and my, you know, my, what do you call those shoes?
Mucklucks.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, but also well, my feet are 14s anyway, so I just go through the snow and get to hit tennis balls with Pam Shriver. What a wonderful lead.
Derek Jeter leading it off here is 0 for 2. Find an important play made by Hughes on him that might have had a force out at second base and a ground ball to first that got bobbled and got Jeter. It did not affect the inning, though, as the Yankees got a run, an earned run in that. 0-2 count. Derek Jeter. 3:08 on the year, and the pitch will be taken outside. 9 multi-hit games for Jeter. That is the most in the majors so far here in this month of April. Kevin Millwood, 1-2 delivery. Chopper again to first base. Millwood over.
Yeah, how often you get to see Jeter a defensive swing? Doesn't happen very often. Good pitch, good movement, and then you just gallop over there and let your first baseman toss. I thought he'd take it himself, but Jeter, of course, if you want to know how to play the game, WWDD, what would Derek do? It's just simple. Off the field, on the field, respect for the opposition, for the fans, for his owner.
Brett Gardner has an RBI when he reached on an error in the 3rd inning, and he is also flied out to center. League's 9th leading base stealer, hitting at .314. Kevin Millwood gets that strike into him. And again, these ball games have been so similar thus far this year. The Orioles have played 8 one-run games, winning only 2 of those. The ball games have seemingly all of them have started just like this: 2-1, 1-0, till you get to the 6th or 7th or later innings.
Well, I think the Orioles are going to get better. It doesn't mean that some of their players can't step it up a little bit. I know they're trying to do it. I think they'll win more games when you get some guys back. But until then, just got to try to play a little higher level. And it's, again, if you're close, that means the other team, even though on paper they're supposed to be that much better, really aren't that much better.
If you do this every game, and 11 of the 19 games the Orioles have played have been decided by 1 or 2 runs. So very, very tight ball games.
So when you hopefully you'll get Brian Roberts back, you'll get Felix PA really hurts him too.
Yeah,
there you go. Good running fastball that comes back. But even tonight,
number 3.
Yeah, I mean, Brett Gardner's going to go down on strikes, but he made a great running play on Tejada's ball. And you see again, just freezes him and just good movement. That ball, little Greg Maddux right there. And Kevin Millwood pitched with him. You started at the hitter. It runs back, gets the top of the strike zone. But again, his catch on Tejada's ball could have easily, maybe last year with Johnny Damon up, been out in left field, been a double. Tonight it's just an easy out because he ran it down.
So Mark Teixeira with 2 down and nobody on, a strikeout victim his first time up, and then drew a walk. 1 hit in his last 13 at bats. Teixeira at 118. Batting average will foul that one off. On the road trip, he has gone just 3 for 24. Does have a home run and a couple of RBIs on this road trip.
We always has been a guy that to some degree drops the back side and has a little bit of an uppercut. Kevin Long says we always talk about trying to stay through the ball a little more level with the backside, because then that uppercut changes and you get a little more direct to the ball. But usually he figures it out. Just not in April.
He's had 25 or more home runs now, 7 consecutive years. So once he gets by the month of April, he starts driving the baseball.
Well, he ended up with 39 last year.
Inside doing.
He and Carlos Pena. Pena, of course, missed the last. He missed April, and Pena missed the last 25 games with the broken fingers.
3 ball, 1 strikeout on Mark Teixeira. Millwood trying to get out of the inning. 1-2-3. Orioles have the shift on. Teixeira swings at 1 away, and a good pitch, 3-2.
But again, it's a pitch that normally he would take if he's seeing the ball well, if he's confident, if he's waiting the ball to travel.
Millwood has retired the side in order in the first inning. 3-2 delivery, lifted, pulled, foul. Talking about the seasons, 25 or more home runs for 7. First 7 seasons, there are only 5 players who've done that. Eddie Matthews, Pujols, Darryl Strawberry, Frank Robinson, and him. First 7 seasons, 25 or more. Pretty good company. 3-2 delivery on the way, and jammed him and fights it off. Stays at 3-2.
And then you add the defense, because he's pretty multifaceted player. You talk to scouts, it's not only that he catches and saves errors, but just his range. I mean, he wants everything on that side.
Here's the 3-2 and another chopper. Boy, we have seen a ton of foul balls tonight by both teams fighting off good pitches.
And they really have been getting. I mean, that's a perfect changeup down and away, and Mark's able just to roll over. The ball he hit hard was just a slider cutter that stayed in the middle of the plate. So I'm sure Kevin's saying, okay, where can I go? Even though, once again, I mean, Teixeira hitting, and there's the pitch count for Millwood. I mean, it's been that kind of game. Again, no run support, so every pitch seems like it's the game.
Up to 96. 3-2 delivery on the way, and just missed. So Teixeira holds back and gets his second walk of the ball game. He has the only 2 surrendered by Millwood in the game. 2 down, 5th inning. A-Rod coming up.
So A-Rod came in 9 for 21 against Kevin Millwood, and with 1 home run, even though he just bounced out on the first pitch and then hit a rocket right at Miguel Tejada with the bases loaded.
Rodriguez gets the opportunity in light of the walk. Ever dangerous with the runner on, and the pitch is going to miss outside for a ball. So Millwood really getting up there now with the number of pitches thrown. It's either going to be 99 or 100 plus here in this inning before it's done. That's going to miss outside and a 2-0 count. Kevin, in the starts previously made, has thrown as many as 115. He's worked 195, 115, and then 112 in that last outing, which was a complete game loss against Seattle. And he's reached the century mark. 2-1 strikeout. Rodriguez look over to first base. Teixeira, A-Rod had stepped up. Go ahead home run by Jorge Posada, 4th inning. The difference in the game right now. Here's the 2-1 from Millwood. A-Rod. 2-2. That too looked like a pitch that when he's on, he would drive.
Yeah. But the one thing that Kevin's done, adding and subtracting, real good at math tonight with a couple of exceptions. Specifically the home run to Posada. Got it in the middle of the plate.
2-2 delivery. And it's going to go full. Waiters had to block that one. A 3-ball, 2-strike count. Hughes informing Millwood he's going to move behind the runner at first base.
Yeah, it's been a night for Kevin Millwood that he's just used about the entire arsenal. Curveballs and changeups and cutters and sliders, 2-seamers, 4-seamers.
3-2. Runner will be going to Sheriff from first base. And swung on and missed. Millwood gets his 4th strikeout, 2 in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. Kevin Millwood getting the K when he needed it. 2-1 Yankees. Game on Saturday. That's when they will need to be back to that 5th starter. His Torres will lead it off.
Word it's going to be Brad Bergeson, who pitched well in his only appearance down at Norfolk.
Bird to bunt, takes the pitch inside from Hughes. Torres threw a walk, bases loaded walk in the 2nd inning. That is accounted for the Orioles' run. Does not show bunt that time and takes the strike, and it goes to 1-1. So here go the Orioles again, getting to the latter portions of the game, and very close. Swung on and missed on a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Andy McPhail, talking with the press before the game today, said the Orioles did not change their plans as to who that 5th starter was going to be, that they had made a decision some time ago, really when they sent Brad Bergeson down, that he would be called back up when the starter was needed again. And Andy said, we've had no change of plans. He didn't use his name specifically, but just said, we're going to do exactly what we planned to do from the get-go. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one to short. A little spin on that. Jeter up. One down, bottom half of the 5th inning. 1-2-1 for the Orioles. 2-4-0 for the Yankees. The Yankees have left 5. The Orioles have left 4. Perhaps the Orioles' best opportunity to get Phil Hughes and chase him came in that 2nd inning. Orioles got the first 2 on, then loaded them up with only 1 down as Torres threw the bases loaded walk to get a run in. Bases still loaded when Adam came up, but a 5-4-3 double play ended the inning. Boy, for 2 in the game.
Yeah, I think when you're a #1 draft choice and great success in high school and all that, you're pretty resilient. You didn't go to the bullpen when you're in high school. You just pitched the game. And 9-1 at Laguna Hills High School. And back to that inning, even though everything was falling apart, he made 2 good pitches to Adam Jones. Cutter for strike 1, and then a good pitch to get the double play. And I'm sure the Yankees like what they see from him. Now, he's not commanding his stuff, which is why his pitch count. And he throws a great fastball at 94, and then a cutter, slider, whatever it is, in the middle of the plate. And he's going to get hurt over the course of his career, and he'll get even really better when he can throw that pinpoint fastball to both sides of the plate and then use his other pitches. But he'll figure that out.
Well, on a night when he really is struggling a bit on the mound, he's got a 2-1 lead.
Oh, no, I understand.
So that's the kind of night you really like to see from a young pitcher.
But he got out of the 1 jam.
Yep.
And if given a chance, most young guys are real competitive. They can do that.
Down the line in right field. That's going to end up in the seats, and it will even the count up to Adam Jones at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orioles in this game, 2 of the hits in that 2nd inning, and the only 2 that they've come away with, 2 singles. Dave Tremblay's ball club struggling with the offense at the end of the road trip. In the Boston 3-game series, as we said, they hit very well around the 350 mark against the Red Sox. Trying to continue that now here at home. 2-2 delivery by Hughes. Jones will take it up high, 3-2.
Of course, I think we saw maybe one of the reasons the Red Sox beating Toronto up in Toronto yesterday, 13-12. How about going 11 for 20 with runners in scoring position in 1 game?
So that's pretty good. Getting 20 out there is pretty good.
That's how you get 13 runs, I guess.
Exactly. Drill to center field. Granderson going back. Has it lined up and hauls it in. 2 down.
And I think it did a little Dwight Wilhelm on him, knuckled at the end. And you can see, right. I mean, you hit that ball so square. Once again, you made a great point about Gardner. I had talked to one of the Van Scott Gordon Lakey of the Phillies. He said, boy, Gardner played great, and then you get Granderson running them down. Tonight with Randy Gwynn with good speed and right. Had a pretty good outfield to pitch with tonight.
Nick Markakis coming up. Amber.
Coming into the game, Nick Markakis hit .429 against Phil Hughes, but so far tonight, he, along with Adam Jones and Luke Scott, the only 3 guys that really had some success against him, are 1 for 7. And Nick told me that he thinks he feels comfortable against Phil Hughes because he said some pitchers you just see the ball out of their hands easier. He said it might be his release point, but he always seems to see the ball very well out of his hands. But he said it's all about being patient. Seeing the ball is one thing, and waiting for a good pitch to hit is another thing. But seeing how Phil did have some control problems, I'm sure Nick would have liked to hit some of those pitches, but let's see if he is patient here. Let's see if he gets one to hit or possibly just get on base. That's what the Orioles need right now.
Base runners 0 for 2 in the ball game with a strikeout and a fly ball out for Markakis off Hughes in this game. Nick with that 274 overall average, and Hughes, as he has been prone to do, gets into these mini slumps here to hitters where he just can't find the strike zone, and he hasn't been close to Markakis. He does have the 2-1 count, way up and out of the zone in the last one. Here's the delivery, and Nick will pop that one up outside of third. That'll be into the seats, and the count goes to 2-2. It's the regrouping Hughes has done in this game, despite the fact he seemingly wandered all over the place with his pitches. He finds a way to get back to the pitch he needs to get the out.
Well, he's just got overwhelming stuff. He's got great movement, good velocity, pretty good curveball on occasion. That's why he got $1.4 million to sign out of high school. And tonight, you did Doc Gooden when he came up. Very many guys, they just couldn't quite generate bat speed. That's been the case tonight against Phil Hughes.
Here's the 2-2 to Markakis, and again,
I mean, you get an idea right there. Posada moved up and in, and we've seen this already. And our hopes.
that went right into the Yankee dugout. Even with the screening in front, that went right through the entryway, and Swisher says, "Don't worry, everything's okay. It didn't hit me." No, that's not what he said.
Got to take your glove. Well, that's a perfect example. I mean, Posada moves up and in. He throws it about 2 inches off the outside corner, and Nick kicks a line drive right into the dugout.
The really gutsy thing is he didn't change his seat location. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Markakis battling Hughes. He's up to 100 pitches now. And the 2-2 is a towering pop-up. Shallow center. Jeter back. And he's gone. So 1-2-3 inning for Hughes. And this pitcher's duel continues. Yankees have a 2-1 lead. Next one came right at him off A-Rod's bat. He caught it. Jorge Posada, nobody caught this one, leading off the fifth home run of the season, and it put the Yankees up 2-1 after the Orioles got their run on a bases loaded walk. 2-4-0 for the Yankees. 1-2-1. There's the box. Not a lot of activity.
Nope. A lot of pitches though, and that's why the Orioles, as they get here in the 6th inning, they'll pitch count a little over 100. Probably what, 101, 102?
Alberto Castillo, the left-hander.
He threw the ball very well after being recalled up in Boston for the Orioles.
Robinson Cano has singled and flied out. Now has a 6-game hit streak going. Cano just over the glove of Wigginton, and a base hit. A leadoff single here in the 6th. Go behind the scenes with the Orioles on Facebook and Twitter. Visit facebook.com/Orioles, and you'll receive Oriole news and special ticket offers. You can go to twitter.com/Birdland Insider. You'll get the latest behind the scenes info from the communications department. Just a click away.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie about Cano. I mean, he could have just missed a grand slam. That's how well he's swinging the bat. You know, had a potential double. Markakis played that double into a single with a nice play, and then that ball change up. Kevin Miller's trying to do everything to get him out.
Cano, pretty good lead. There he goes. Here's the throw down by Wieters, and got him! Matt Wieters continues to gun him down.
Well,
what an improvement he has made from last year. He's thrown out 6 of 14.
Well, Jeff Dax, the new bench coach, is a former catcher, and I mean, this is a pretty good jump, but only a good throw is going to get him. You can see it stirs. Now watch this. Footwork. great accurate arm right into the runner, and I don't think you give the second base umpire John Hirschbeck even any chance to call him out.
Though Cano's caught for the second time. He's 2 for 4 now, and that's a big out. Jorge Posada, fielder's choice, and that dinger in the 4th inning. First left-hander to have a home run off Millwood. 1-1 delivery, fouled away. A look at our 4th drive of the game.
Yeah, just trying to get a ball inside to him, and it runs back in the middle of the plate, and you can see the frustration and the heat back onto the field. Ooh, pretty good arm.
Not bad. 4th drive of the game. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. One down, base is empty. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery. Posada check swing. Did he go? No. Jim Hoy at third base.
Take a look at what he's looking at, and nope, not even close on a very, very good curveball.
Posada will take that one as well, and another full count.
Yeah, trying to stay away from the fastball in the middle of the plate. It's not that he can't hit breaking balls out, but he's just such a good fastball hitter.
3 ball, 2 strike count on Posada with Granderson to follow. We're in the 6th inning. Kevin Millwood, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. They get 3 walks. And a single and a walk to start the inning. That leadoff batter Cano taken out by the caught stealing. And he's nearing the end of the journey in this ball game. Obviously, Dave Tremblay wants to leave him in to finish the inning and hope the Orioles might be able to get a couple of runs.
Well, you know, I think this is a really tough situation for Dave Tremblay because he knows the matchup. I mean, this is your best matchup right here. And you know, Swisher on deck's a switch hitter, Wynn's a switch hitter, and well, he does not want to do what he's going to do because I think he respects the job that Kevin's done for him. Kevin doesn't want to leave, but over the course of a season, sometimes you got to make this move only because you're trying to protect him. I mean, the last thing he wants to do is come out of this game.
Dave Tremblay waited till he had crossed the line before he gave the sign, but he will take the baseball, and Kevin Millwood again is going to have pitched extremely well and can't be the winning pitcher.
Well, again, I only have them giving up the 1 earned run. You know, Tejada makes the error. They get the 1 run early, and then the Posada home run. But he really pitched tonight. And you'd like to think he'd get something a little bit more than that. But again, he gives you everything you can. That's all you can ask, whether you're watching or you're on the bench. And I know he's frustrated. But again, hopefully this will change. But he did his job, and now it's up to Alberto Castillo. He's faced 5 batters since he was called up and struck out 3 of them, and he's a lefty specialist. Granderson's been struggling for his last 15, so I mean, you have to make this move if you're Dave Tremblay because you're trying to win the game, and you can't make all your You know, as good as Millwood was, you can't make him completely happy.
Posada called for a timeout down at first base, as though he wanted to see the signs again. Granderson is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He has struck out and grounded out. Takes the pitch for a strike. Granderson 238 off lefties, 250 off righties early on. Got a runner on at first. Posada, very short lead with Hughes holding the bag at first. One down. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball is there for a strike. First save in his career. Clay Meredith got it. Sunday's game against the Red Sox. Bullpen positions are all wide open coming into tonight's game. Setup man, closer, and everything else. That is down low, maybe a little outside. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Granderson. Orioles looking for that ground ball. Granderson tough to double up with the speed. Hitting 238. 1-2 delivery to him. That's outside. 2-2. Granderson has not grounded into a double play yet this year. Two managers' wheels turning, both with starters way up there in the pitch count. Here's the 2-2. Granderson takes it.
Yeah, not a real good slider, but in going back and referencing some early calls, it might have. You can definitely, I mean, 99% of the time that's too high. Tonight there's been a couple of high pitches called.
And the 3-2 just nubbed foul. Millwood responsible for Jorge Posada on 5 innings plus 4 hits. Gave up the home run to Posada. Kevin walked 3 in the ball game. He'd only walked 4 in the other 4 starts. Struck out 4. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Castillo the long look, and a good heater got him. 2 down.
Well, a lot of deception from Alberto Castillo. You want to hang around and have a job? Get lefties out if you're left-handed. Right here, just close enough. Well, I'm not sure he wanted to throw 6 pitches, but at the end of the day, he made a quality pitch. Granderson, who struck out 141 times last year, chases it. And now you get Swisher hitting from the side of the plate that he usually doesn't hit near as many home runs.
He's hitting 250 right-handed, 211 left-handed this year. Swisher has picked up 2 homers, both from the other side. 2 down. Towards the hole. Tejada off his glove and into left field. Big turn, but Posada does not get back. Good play as Tejada kept chasing that down into shallow left field and got the throw back to second base. So the Orioles get a couple of outs, 1 caught stealing and 1 right there. 2-1. He put that tag on to get Jorge Posada.
Nice play by Miguel. Couldn't quite get to it. Probably should have let it go, but his instinct, hustle, and then the instinct to turn around and fire a bullet. And Jorge, 38, must have just felt a little faster today.
Yep. Getting going back, so the Orioles will go to the bottom of the sixth, still trailing by just one. Boone Logan in the bullpen for the Yankees. Phil Hughes has walked 3 and struck out 2. The Orioles have had only 2 hits off him. They were back-to-back singles in the second inning. 3 walks have put runners on, and one of those came with the bases loaded to as Torres in the second, accounting for the Orioles' run. 2 singles, that's been the O's offense. A strike taken by Matt Wieters. Wieters has walked and flied out.
They could say the only 2 hits and then an opportunity, but the ground ball double play off the bat of Adam Jones. And we got Hughes, who was struggling with his release point.
Wieters trying to tie his career high hit streak number, which is 9. Has not done so here with the 0 for 1. Matt is overall on the season now hitting at .319, 1 homer, 7 RBIs. Job here, be a table setter and get on. Takes the floater that just misses. 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about Matt Wieters, he has the ability, at least appears to me, to slow the game down when he hits. Because that curveball, pretty good curveball, but the ability to know it's a ball right out of his hand.
And takes that one to first, but right at Teixeira.
Well, not always a smart hitter because he hits it right on the nose, right to the Gold Glover, but you get an idea. What did Kenny Singleton? We're sitting in there. Kenny Singleton, one of the great switch hitters. Oriole, now an Yankee broadcaster. He said this kid is going to be something special because he can really hit the bat, and then of course the Gold Glover right there to make the out. But this is really the first guy that's turned on Philip Hughes' stuff tonight.
Kenny Singleton.
Yeah.
Broadcasting for the Yankees. Here's Tejada. And that is a strike taken. Tejada flied out twice. He's got a 4-game hit streak he hasn't extended. Looking for his first hit off Phil Hughes. He is 0 for 7 in his career. Orioles looking for a base runner here to try and get an inning going. And that off-speed delivery will miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, I think the Miguel, he just wants one of those cut fastballs that's about 88 and quick enough to bat and tie this game up.
Here's the 1-1. Launched to center. Granderson's turned every which way but loose out there on fly balls to center field. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. And that's going to be it for Philip Hughes with Luke Scott coming into the plate. Hughes will leave. He's going to have a chance to go 3-0 on the season. Chance to win this one, although it's very much up for grabs. Boone Logan warmed up in the bullpen. Yankees have the 2-1 lead.
Started the year in AAA, and then was called up when Chan-Ho Park went on the disabled list. They were hoping to get Park back, but you know, Logan, this will be his third appearance. Last year with Atlanta, we saw him years ago, a couple of years ago, only 25 with the White Sox. So, you know, he's a tall kid at 6'5". I was talking to Dave Island. He said we just try to keep him a little more upright, throw downhill. Certainly tall enough to do that. And then again, a matchup time. Joe Girardi says, you know what? I think 109 pitches is enough. Once again, an outstanding performance from Phil Hughes.
So the Orioles get into the Yankee bullpen with 2 down in the 6th inning. Luke Scott has a single and a walk, scored the only run in the 2nd against the lefties so far this season. 3 for 16. One of his 2 home runs off a left-hander. And Luke will take the pitch up high for a ball. Orioles have stranded only 4 in the ball game, 2 in scoring position, and that both of those were in the 2nd inning. Otherwise, Hughes really throttled Dave Tremblay's team's offense. Luke hitting at .220 on the year. Here's the 1-0. Joe Girardi really wanted Chan-Ho Park to be healthy this year because he loved what he did in spring training. Girardi said, I'll tell you one thing, there's one guy I want in the bullpen this year, and now he's not there. So
well, we saw him a couple of times in spring training. He had some of the more crisp stuff that I saw all spring. In fact, a lot better, and that right off the mask of Jorge Posada.
That may have been a 2 for 1. Wally Bell kind of laughing with the mask off. That caught him on the arm.
Pretty good swing by Luke Scott, but straight back off the mask.
Posada and Bell both regrouping.
Well, Posada had a choice. He came up as a second baseman, or maybe a third baseman early on. He could have got away from harm's way.
So Wally Bell didn't have that choice?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Okay. He can call the high fastball. He can't hit it like Jorge.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Scott will take the walk here if he can get it. Keep the inning alive with Wigginton waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Again going for the long ball, and it's full, 3-2.
Well, you like the swing and ball a little bit high. Luke, a better low ball hitter. Awfully strong, though. He got the first hit off of Phil Hughes. Kind of fought it off. Might have broken a bat, but so strong. Got it by Jeter into left field.
Logan's 3rd appearance since that call-up from the minors. Three ball, 2 strike count to Scott, and takes it, and Luke draws the free pass. So Logan does not get the matchup job done the Yankees wanted. The Orioles get the runner on. David Robertson is in the bullpen, and he's going to come on, as now we will start running the pen pitchers in to get the matchups each of these managers wants. So Logan will work no part of an inning and surrender a walk. Wigginton will be coming. installed. That was yesterday. There were ceremonies before the game today in recognition of Jackie Robinson and the 63rd anniversary of his becoming the first African-American player at the major league level. The Rookie of the Year 47, the MVP 49, 55 World Series champs of Brooklyn, and the Hall of Famer inducted 1962, number 42 now here at Camden Yards. And on the mound, David Robertson.
Well, I tell you, I guess if you're the Yankees, you're a little concerned about the ERA. That happened in one game on the 13th of April. Bobby Abreu grand slam, but this kid, you know, he seems like he's a lot taller than a 5'11", and last year in 45 appearances, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. He was terrific for him. Big overhand curveball, very, very deceptive fastball. 91 looks like it's 95. Maybe not to Wigington, who's been red hot though.
Wiggy will take the off-speed pitch to start it with a strike. Luke Scott is on at first base. There are 2 down. Yankees have the 2-1 lead. The Orioles have not had a hit since the 2nd inning.
So there's your scouting report. I mean, really good fastball hitter, Ty Wigington. Get him out with breaking balls. There's another one. First one was better than the second one. That sometimes can get you in trouble. I mean, it's the same thing with Boone Logan. They got to 3 and 2. Scouting report, don't throw Luke Scott a fastball, threw a slider, walked him, and in comes Robertson. So a chance here not only to get the tying run in, but you know, maybe if Wiggy with already 6 home runs gets a hold of one.
24-year-old out of Birmingham, Alabama. On the mound for the Yankees at 0-2 count. Scott very short lead at first. The Orioles down a run. Wigington foul tips, and it's been a tough inning for Jorge Posada, the 2nd time he's been caught with a foul ball.
Well, imagine, I mean, you make the base running error, so now you come behind the plate. You still got to protect it. He gets hit twice in the mask in one inning. That one, I mean, dead center.
Cervelli's over there going, might want to start walking around. 0-2 count on Ty Wigington. Wigington a single and is hit into a fielder's choice. He's got a 4-game hit streak going now. Comes in with a .333 average to this at bat. Oh, that one got him in the side. So the Orioles have a couple on.
And how does Wigington run down there that fast? You can see the discuss right here. Robertson's trying to come in. Posada moves way in, and he misses by a foot right in the ribs. And Ty goes, I don't know what Ty goes, but he goes down to first. But I don't know what he said or what he was thinking. That's more than taking one for the club, wouldn't you say?
The Orioles get a pretty good chance right here. Down 2-1. There are 2 away, but 2 on for Ryan Hughes, who has struck out and flied out. The Orioles rookie first baseman against the young David Robertson. And he will take that pitch down low for a ball. Scouting report from the Orioles organization on Hughes was good swing, loose hands, good extension, makes good contact. Ball has that big league sound when it comes off the bat. Runners off first and second. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that had a big league sound. Gets there so fast, going to be a play. Here's Wynn, and he muffed the throw. He buried it in Mother Earth, and the Orioles have tied it up. Scott scores. Hughes gets another RBI.
Yeah, I think Wynn hurt himself. I tell you, that is some gutsy third base coaching by Juan Samuel. You hardly ever send anybody. Now, he doesn't have a great arm. You talked about it, and then I don't know if he couldn't catch the ball, didn't get centered in his hand, and then no possible way. When do you throw a grounder like that? Just couldn't get the grip on it. Tied up.
So Hughes keeps doing what he has always done, and Juan Samuel, who knows each of these outfielders as to what they are doing in the current scouting reports, just kept them going, and along came Scott to score. Now here's Nolan Reimold, first and third, 2 down. Reimold will take it outside for a ball. So Hughes and Millwood are non-decisioned in this ballgame.
Juan Samuel should go into fortune telling. How do you predict the guy's not going to be able to grip the ball? I mean, it's the right play, because even you want to test his arm. I mean, it's like
Reimold has drawn a walk and hit into a fielder's choice. The Orioles 1 for 3 now for tonight. The Yankees 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Logan will be charged with that run that ties the game up. It was the batter he walked, Luke Scott. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles getting these with 2 down. Reimold will take it for a strike, and it goes to 1 and 2. Orioles were hitting just 108 with runners in scoring position and 2 down. But those numbers overall and with 2 out improved in that Red Sox series.
And they can keep improving. They've got to figure out how to somehow get a base hit.
1-2 in the dirt. Posada blocks it. Wigginton, the lead runner, and Hughes over at first.
Yeah, I think the one thing we saw from Nolan Reimold, I mean, let's face it, the Achilles tendon surgery, slow start, 1 for 22, really got hot the end of spring training, still bothered by the Achilles tendon. And, you know, he said he felt pretty good up in Boston because he had 5 straight days off as DH. But it's still a struggle to get healthy.
That's why he stays out of left field a lot. 2-2, down to third. That is a fair ball. That's going to score Wigginton. Hughes will have to stop at second base as Gardner gets it in. And the Orioles have a 3-2 lead on the Reimold RBI.
Talked about Robertson's curveball, and when you throw a curveball, it's harder to spot. So it's a good one. It's down, but the routine ground ball is right over the bag. Alex Rodriguez playing percentage baseball. He's off the corner. Great shot right here. Great angle. Routine ground ball, except nobody's playing there. You can see Alex trying to knock it down, and he can't get to it. Dave Island coming out to have a talk with Dave Robertson.
So here is the underbelly of the Yankees for the moment. That is the middle relief between Starter and Mariano Rivera. And the Orioles got there by forcing Phil Hughes, well, Phil Hughes threw a lot of pitches. A lot of that had to do with him being off tonight, and even though he gave up only 2 singles.
Yeah, and then you get back to the Boone Logan not coming in, you know, try to throw a 3-2 breaking ball after getting behind Luke Scott. Reimold's going to go out for Lou Montanez. Going to come in and pinch run.
Montanez takes over at first base for Reimold. Hughes is at second. As Torres, a bases loaded walk RBI, and he's grounded out. 2 down, and the pitch is taken down low. So after there were 2 away, the Orioles had a walk, a hit batter, and 2 singles.
Now you could see the walk because Logan got behind Scott, but 0-2 trying to come in on a fastball, hit Wigginton, and then Hughes got the base hit the tie. And then of course you throw the non-throw by Randy Wynn, couldn't get a grasp on it.
That is taken inside, maybe a little low as well. As Torres, he gets the RBI opportunity.
Well, again, the time of the game when you're in the 6th inning, when you need 9 outs now that you have the lead, you need to get as many as you can. We saw that up in Boston.
Robertson's delivery as Torres looks it, and it's in there. Yeah, the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings have been real adventures for the Orioles. Lots of runs have been scored by them and against them in those innings. So there can never be enough in the way of runs going late into a game. 2-1 delivery on the way as Torres fights it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And why does it always seem when the Yankees fall behind that Jeter's going to lead off the next inning?
1-9. Top of the order. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Runners off first and second. And as Torres loops it, base hit, left field. Here comes Hughes. And holding at second base, Montanez, RBI. Second of the ball game for his Torres, and a 4-2 Orioles lead.
So Reimold 1 for 15. He gets a hit. Torres 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. He gets a hit. Look at him cover this outside corner. He's been bunting more. Great plate coverage right there. Ryan Hughes. He ties it up, scores the 4th run. Orioles lead it by 2.
All this coming with 2 down. Hughes left the ball game with 2 down and nobody on, and the pen has surrendered all of it. Top of the order, Adam Jones. He is 0 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles now with 5 hits. They are all singles. 2 of them back-to-back in the second. 3 of them back-to-back here in the sixth. Now the opportunity for Adam Jones. Only 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. They get 1 for 12 because he had that earlier chance in this game. Aceves in the pen for the Yankees. Logan charged with a run and a walk and no part of an inning pitched. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Jones taps it foul. 1-2. The Orioles from the 7th inning on in ball games this year have been outscored 36-18. That's why all of these runs, whenever the Orioles have a chance, are so important.
Well, yeah, we talked about it. What a combination of not hitting with runners in scoring positions, so you don't add on, and then the fact that the bullpen, as you mentioned, they had 5 guys with ERAs over 5 runs a game,
and even more scattered about are the bullpen members coming into this game with no closer and no setup man named. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Jones. For right now, though, it's about the offense. 2 base runners. Montanez is Torres. Robertson with the 2-2 delivery. Jones went. He's gone. Slams the bat down in disgust. Mad at himself and nobody else. Inning over, the Orioles will pick up 3 runs. They leave 2 on, and the O's have a 4-2 lead.
trailing by 2 as they come to hit in the 7th.
Castillo, the left-hander, will stay on. Lou Montanez will stay in the ball game in left field for Reimold. And here we go. Pitch will be taken. Randy Wynn leads it off. Wynn is singled and popped out. Jeter and then Gardner to follow. Wynn got his single in the 3rd and was stranded. Yankees leaving a couple in scoring position in that inning. That's the only time they've gotten anybody into scoring position. The 3rd. Castillo came on and retired Granderson, and then Swisher was credited with the base hit and the out on Posada at second, ended the inning. Swung on a pitch tailing away, 1-2.
Well, you like that tailing away, 90 miles per hour, down and away. You mentioned Randy Wynn not playing a whole lot. Only been up 10 times coming into tonight's game. Did single his first time.
0 for 3 against left-handers. Fouls it back. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Told you this lineup just loaded with the left-handers and the switch hitters tonight. Just Jeter at the top, the only right-handed batter in the lineup. Here's the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, got it. Posada just kind of floated that one in.
Well, let's take another look. I'm sure we'll see that again, there have been some pitchers' pitches tonight. The ball might have gone around the corner. Yeah, it got the outside corner. I think Wally Bell's got to dust out that outside corner. Looked like he was a little bit outside, but now that I see it,
right on.
Now that we have the massive pitch track, I see that he was right.
Derek Jeter, leadoff batter, 0 for 3 ground ball outs. Jeter, 240 off the lefties, 353 off right-handers. 3 ground ball outs, continues the pace Jeter seemingly sets each year. He led the majors last year in ground ball fly ball ratio, and he's doing it again this year. It's about 4.5 ground balls for every fly ball. Nobody hits more ground balls in the majors than he does. 0-1 delivery to him. He'll foul that one away, and a 2-strike count.
What they have him scheduled for the middle of next year if he keeps up similar pace he's been able to do to get to 3,000. They still have to get the contract done. I guess the precedent of you never negotiate a contract before your contract's over if you're the Yankees unless you have an opt-out. And you're Alex Rodriguez.
Then you go ahead.
Well, you still didn't do it during the season.
This time, of course, he puts it in the air. Markakis is there, and there are 2 down. 2 away, 7th inning. Visit the official online shop of the Orioles at Orioles.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Orioles.com shop. See, he agrees. 2 away, nobody on. Here's Gardner. Gardner an RBI in the 3rd inning when he reached on an error.
And again, everybody coming in. The one thing, I had read some articles that Brett Gardner said, I'm going to really work on my bunting. Did it all spring training, all winter long on the batting machine. Of course, if he gets on, it's instant offense because he can steal bases so well. And it's not only the first and third baseman, everybody. Wigginton in at second. And Sturz comes in just a couple of steps. Do not want to give up the infield hit, especially because he would become, if he gets on as we look at the seventies, still again, I assume he'll probably be coming in, but the share on deck, Gardner would allow the tying run to come to the plate if he can get on.
Gardner 3 for 10 off left-handers, and the 1-1 sidearm delivery to him catches him as Castillo drops way down with that pitch, and that kind of surprised him and froze him in place.
Well, Alberto Castillo, a great story, position player, about his second, third year, independent leagues for about 7 years, the Mexican League, and again, very deceptive. Overtanned to right-handers, a little different arm angle.
Gardner watches that one go by, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Castillo trying to make sure he stays in this pen. Orioles are going to have another pitcher called up to start on Saturday, and he got that one in there. So Castillo, outstanding relief effort so far. 7th inning stretch time. Orioles lead it. It's brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. they're being asked tonight to get a win.
Well, somebody will assume the closer role if they can maintain this lead, and then you have the magic, the team, whatever we call this on tonight.
Well, this is the community.
Yeah.
This is actually Flanny's.
That's right.
But he sticks it in the drawer back here, and on a cold night, you pull it out and put it on.
Yeah, and it's
not
working.
all can afford these fine Burberry suits and jackets.
Actually, it's Joe Bank. First time I ever did it. Half price. Come on.
My kind of guy.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Here's Alfredo Aceves. He's going to come on to do the pitching. That's actually him. He's warming up with A-Rod. He wanted some extra tosses, I guess. So he warmed up with the catcher and then turned around and started warming up with A-Rod.
Wait a minute. That's against the rules,
I
isn't
thought it was.
Yeah.
No, he did it anyway. Nick Markakis. Robertson, a third of an inning, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 strikeout. He's the pitcher of record. Aceves gets the ground ball to Cano. Markakis retired, and Nick has an 0 for 4 in the ball game as we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the choices. Kevin Millwood, 2 runs, 4 hits over 5. Another good start. Ryan Hughes has come through in the ballgame with a big RBI base hit and a run scored. And his Taurus has had a 2 RBI night. 1 with a single, 1 with the bases loaded. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 518-62. And the breaking ball will miss inside. Matt Wieters, 0 for 2 and a walk in the ballgame. Aceves, right-hander, 4th pitcher used by the Yankees, and he'll fall behind 2-0 on Wieters.
Yeah, he really had a terrific year for him last year. Comes out of Mexico, played in the Mexican League. 10-1. 10-1 on a team that the year before had all kinds of injuries, 89 to 103 wins, and he was a big part of it. Great change-up, and tries to cut everything. You know, not overpowering, 89, 91. We saw him in spring training, but bothered by a bad back. But apparently that's better. Not off to the kind of start he had last year, though.
Aceves, 250 left-handers, 200 right-handers against him so far. Limited at bats, of course. That pitch is going to be taken inside, and the count goes to 3-1. Orioles trying to take advantage of walks and hit batters in this ball game. 1 walk was an RBI, bases loaded. Scott walked and scored. Wigginton hit by a pitch and scored. They've been an opportunistic offense tonight, the O's have. And that's going to be outside, and Wieters is on with his 2nd walk of the ball game. Jim Johnson in the bullpen. That could be in a closer's role or a setup man. We're not sure.
Well, if you go back to, let's see, the 2nd win of the year, which was out in Oakland, he pitched both the 8th and 9th. But he did throw a lot of pitches on Sunday. Pitch count over 30 for Jim. So maybe just throw him out there for the 8th. If he does well, let him start the 9th.
All right, here's Tejada, runner on at first base. And Tejada takes the fastball for a strike. He has flied out 3 times, twice to center and once to left field. Aceves working against him for the first time. Wieters on at first base, 1 down. Miggy hitting at 270. Outfield deep on him. Here's the 0-1. Another fly ball, right center field. Win. 2 down. So 4 fly ball outs for Tejada in the ball game. Yeah, with 2 away, Luke Scott coming up.
Well, you like this matchup only because they're not. Marte is not up in their bullpen. And you just hope that maybe you can get another long ball here.
Luke 0 for 3 off him in the few times he's faced him.
Well, he's got the changeup, and that's how. Luke would rather hit a fastball. Doesn't mean he can't hit a changeup or a curveball, but they try to change speeds, try to get him out on the front foot.
Scott has had a big part in the ball game. He singled in the 2nd, scored. In the 6th inning, he drew the 2-out walk off Boone Logan and would score the first of 3 runs that crossed in the 6th, and the Orioles get the lead. Look over to first base. Not going anywhere. Matt Wieters. Scott will take it. It is there. And he's quickly behind on the count, 0-2.
Yeah, Luke's probably thinking the way I was thinking. Change-ups, breaking balls, and he throws them 2 fastballs. One thing Luke's been able to do so far this year, it hasn't translated into long balls, but directions of hits are a lot better. Only like 10 hits to left field all last year, already 4. 2 up the middle and the 6 to the pool field, right field for him.
Chavez, that little lean look over to first base. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and Scott will take that one towards second. Cano in the outfield grass gets the out. Chavez comes on, gets the job done. Orioles will lead 1. We've completed 7. Orioles up 4-2. Cool night here in Baltimore for the Orioles, though. So far, so good. 4-2. Jim Johnson.
Well, Jim can be very, very good, and this year on occasion he's struggled. Came in the other day, pitched well in the 8th inning, and then the 9th inning with a 3-run lead. Curveball, change-up for a couple of hits. Eventually, Clay Meredith got his first save. So it will be a formidable stretch of hitters, and of course they have a left-hander already up in the bullpen with Cano, the 3rd hitter in this inning. So you just hope that he's Jim Johnson. We know sinker, he's got a good curveball, a good changeup, but his best pitch is the sinker. Just hadn't been very consistent with it.
Teixeira has drawn a couple of walks and he is struck out. He will foul that one away as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. Teixeira 0 for 3 off Jim Johnson. For Johnson against the Yankees. Last season he pitched in 6 games, had an 0-2 record. Teixeira to center. Jones. 1 down.
Well, a missile, but right at somebody. And Teixeira actually made a nice adjustment very, very late. But again, you got a 2-run lead. Until somebody gets on, you're golden. So Will Ullman.
Rodriguez, a couple of hits and 6 at-bats off Johnson. A-Rod in this game has gone 0 for 3. 1 hit in his last 15 times to the plate. Hitting .282 on the year, a couple of home runs. Johnson trying to get through the middle of this Yankee order. And maybe leave the bottom part of it for the 9th inning. Johnson's delivery. Rodriguez fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, has been trying to get Jim Johnson to kind of, I guess, revisualize where he was 2 years ago, where he one of the best sinkers in the league. And when you come in to get 3 outs, or maybe in this case 6 outs, do what you do best. Doesn't mean you don't use some of your pitches. There's a curveball. But establish the sinker. Make them think. And it's a heavy sinker. Down and in. A-Rod couldn't quite get to it. Now all of a sudden he says, I got to be a little bit quicker, and he drops a curveball on. Wasn't a great one, but it was a strike.
Head on the count, 1-2. A-Rod. Rodriguez chased the ball in that 5th inning when he struck out. Kevin Millwood went 5 1/3, 2 runs on 4 hits. Castillo is now the pitcher of record, an inning and 2/3 for him with 1 hit and 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, one of Kevin Millwood. I mean, he pitched great tonight, but that was a 3-2 breaking ball. Perfect pitch, up and away.
Down to third, Tejada side saddles and gets it.
If you're watching at home, it's not exactly. He's still learning to play a very difficult position. Another ball hit very hard, but it's on the ground. A-Rod, 585 home runs, haven't hit a grounder. That's your third baseman with a great throwing arm. Corral it. See right there. Kind of in the web. Knocks it down, stays with it, and then makes a strong throw. I mean, he really wants to be good over there. It's just going to take a while. I mean, if you go back and look at Melvin Moore when he made the transition, it wasn't overnight. And Melvin was a lot younger.
2 down, nobody on. Here's Cano. And he will take it first strike. Cano has had a couple of singles, 2 for 3. Now has a 6-game hit streak. He is batting .380 on the year, 4th best average in the league, and 2nd in runs. And takes that pitch inside. Now Johnson trying to get the 1-2-3 inning out of the way right here against the meat of this Yankee lineup. Cano 4 for 8 lifetime off Johnson. 1-1. And make it 5 out of 9. Montanez will play it in. 3-hit ball game for Cano.
Well, do you want to just give him the batting title now?
No.
Okay, we're going to let him have to go all the way till October?
All the way.
Okay.
It's going to be, I agree with you, he's going to be there, but
no, I'm just
getting bats in the American League.
Oh, I know, but he
can hit.
Yep.
And this year he seems to be more prepared than ever. Here's Jorge Posada. He's delivered a home run in the 4th, his 5th of the year. Hit into a fielder's choice and has drawn a walk. He represents the potential tying run in the ball game now. Breaking ball into it. The Yankees have out hit the Orioles 7-5, but trail 4-2. Posada with the homer. Gardner with the RBI when he reached on an error. The 2 runs for the Yankees. Again, 0-2.
Yeah, I think that was a changeup. Most guys would die to have an 88-mile-per-hour changeup. But the difference, because he's been up to 95 today, and you can see Posada just completely give up on it.
Oh, 2 delivery to him. Posada's faced Jim Johnson with at-bats only a couple of times, 1 for 2. He'll walk back around Wally Bell, the home plate umpire, on that one.
Well, that's really what you want to do to unsettle a hitter. You just kind of make him dance a little bit without hitting him. It does change the perspective of that outside corner if you can hit it where it looks like Wieters is going.
1-2 delivery right to first. Used there, and that's that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Jim Johnson gets it done in the 8th, and the Orioles maintain the lead.
And if you're the Orioles, you hope that if you're able to win tonight, that you'll be able to do what Jeremy was and the Orioles did when they got opening day. They beat Sabathia last year, had 10 runs on the board. That would be nice for Jeremy. He'd welcome that.
Orioles finished up 5-13 against the Yankees last season, winning 3 out of the 9 games the team played here at Camden Yards, looking to open this season with a victory in Game 1 against the Yankees. Ty Wigginton. Wigginton has had a single, fielder's choice hit by a pitch. He scored in the 6th inning. David Robertson hit him with a pitch which put a couple on. Hughes and Reimold would follow with RBIs, and is Torres. And the Orioles got 3 runs in the 6th on 3 hits to take the 4-2 lead. Wigginton at 333. Aceves stays on, working on the mound for the Yankees. Wigginton to short. No. And Jeter didn't get it.
I mean, he's ready. Just watch this ball come up. Well, great angle right here. Watch him getting ready. Ball's coming to him, waiting for it. It just comes up a little bit. I mean, not a horrendous bounce. It just comes off the heel of his glove. It's a ball that obviously he normally catches. Gold Glover last year.
Julio Lugo will come on to run for Wigginton. And the leadoff man on for the Orioles. And it'll be an error charge. But Wigginton finds a way to get on again. He's been on with a single, a fielder's choice, hit by a pitch, and reached on an error. He's surrounding all the ways you can get on base. See if Hughes is asked to bunt. No. Fouls that one off.
Yeah, he's going to have to learn Alfredo Aceves because right there, cutter. The one thing I like about him, and they were talking about it on the bench today, when his first at bat in the big leagues off John Lackey, who pretty good pitcher and runner on first base, sinker down and in, and boom, did exactly what a good left-handed hitter tries to do with a runner on. He'll try to do it again here. Just hit it into right field. Nobody, especially with Lugo, doesn't steal a lot, but he's capable of stealing, so they're going to hold him on. Big hole over there.
1 for 3. Hughes trying to go 2 RBIs in each of his first 3 ball games in the major leagues. Orioles up 4-2. 0-1 count on Hughes. We're in the bottom half of the 8th. Lugo, not a big lead. Moves it out a little now. And Hughes rips that one right back into the screen. And the count stays at 2 strikes. Orioles in their first homestand when they went 0 for 6. Hit only .226 and had only 2.7 runs per game in those 6 ball games. They got out homered 11-6. They've come back here to open up the second homestand so far with the 4 runs on 5 hits. Here's the 0-2 delivery. And he's gone on the inside corner.
Pretty nice breaking ball. That's Ryan Hughes. Philip Hughes dropped one in earlier on. A good curve ball. And this one you can see plenty of the strike zone.
Well, Montanez will get his first at bat. He came on to play running for Reimold and then staying in the ball game in left field.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to do a run and hit. Try to open up a hole. Try to get another run in for that 9th inning.
Montanez 4 for 23, all singles and RBI. No walks, 4 strikeouts so far. Lugo off first. Orioles looking for that first home win of the year. And Alfredo Simon, who just came up today to join the ball club, is in the bullpen.
That would be exciting. Different baseball. First night this year.
Montanez goes the other way, and that will be towards the seats and out of play.
Welcome to the big leagues, and you're our closer. Well, I mean, we don't know if that's going to happen, but it could.
Montanez checking a third here.
That's so exciting. I almost want this. I don't want it to end, but you almost want this inning to end in a hurry so we can see who's actually, if he's going to come out of the bullpen.
We'll find out sooner than later, I believe. Lugo back in at first base. Aceves keeping him close over there. It's all in the belief he might be running here, either to try and steal or
yeah, you would think
run.
they'd try to do something. And of course, he's been around. He was a starter. We talked about pitching in the Mexican League, and in fact, he was a starting pitcher until they brought him to the big leagues last year. And then he was 10-1, and there we go, a little pitch out.
Nobody going. Lugo jumped off over there, but didn't go anywhere.
There's Joe Girardi looking on, former catcher.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Montañez going to go. Here's the chance, or if you're going to have the run and hit and run. There he goes. Montañez trying to inside out it, pops it up right field. Wynn puts it away. Lugo gets back, and there are 2 down.
And Joe Girardi, I mean, that's why he's throwing over. Sevy's probably getting the signs, as you mentioned earlier, either from Joe or Tony Pena. You just know that the Orioles are going to try with speed at first and a young hitter, try to start the runner, hope that he hits a ball on the ground. He couldn't do it. And try to get a runner into scoring position, maybe get him all the way to third base.
So as Torres will stand in against Aceves with 2 outs. And Lugo on at first base. Productive ball game for the number 9 hitter for the Orioles, and fouls it off. RBI, bases loaded, walk, 2nd inning. RBI single, 6th inning. And now looking to keep the inning alive here in the bottom half of the 8th with 2 down.
I think he's going to have a good year. Cesar is working on his bunting. Much better hitter than I think he indicated last year. Of course, he did miss the month with the appendectomy. Certainly disturbs your training and your approach to the game.
Torres will take that one down and away. His first multi-RBI game of the season. And now he's looking for a multi-hit game. He's had 3 2-hit ball games so far this year. Lugo edging off. There he goes. 1-1 taken, straight steal way into center field. Posada gunned that one all the way to Granderson. It'll be a stolen base on an error. Over to third goes Lugo.
Yeah, really got underneath it. Smart baseball by the Orioles. You'd see if Jorge, he did have shoulder surgery last year, but threw the ball well. Been watching him throw down between innings, but again, trying to hurry, just gets under it, sails in there.
The error charged to the catcher, allowing Lugo to move up. Gets his first stolen base of the year, and now a potential big run. A-Rod asking for timeout at third.
Yeah, and he's going to come in now because the scouting report will tell you that Cesar Torres will bunt.
2-1 count, 2 down.
Did it in Seattle, did it in Boston.
This time fouls it back into the screen, and the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, I talked to him when they were in Seattle. I said, do you realize how hard it is to defense a hitter like you when you have to play in at least till 2 strikes? It just brings a more difficulty to trying to get you out.
Backing up now, A-Rod with a 2-strike count, 2-2. Lugo off third, and the 2-2 delivery, and that's inside, full count. The Stars came into the ball game only 1 RBI, so he's doubled that here with the 2 in this game, and has a chance for a third. Posada now has thrown out only 3 of 16 on the year. Two away. Aceves. 3-2 delivery, and that's going to be a base hit into right field, and it all mattered. Lugo scores. RBI, the third of the game for Torres, and it is a 5-2 O's lead.
Big night for Cesar Torres. And again, of course, Lugo, they pinch run. He steals second, goes to third base on the throw by Posada into center field, and then the base hit. Boy, the Orioles doing something they weren't doing over the last couple of weeks, getting the big hit, getting the clutch hit.
So another 2-out base hit. Top of the order, Jones. Adams had a long night. He's had an 0 for 4. A couple of fly ball outs, strikeout, and hit into a double play.
Well, he is really around the ball. He's got to wait for the ball. He's got to think middle of the field and really cut down on his swing. I think we saw that the second half last year when he got to 19 home runs early on, and then that's what he thinks. I mean, just start hitting the ball more like that, stay inside it, even just got to wait a little longer. I mean, right now, just swinging at the thrown ball, and the league's going to know that, and the good pitchers will get him out. He'll still get his pitches.
Hitting just 202 on the year, still trying to get things going here early in April. By the way, Torres has had a 4 RBI ball game in his career. He got 3 in this one. 0-2 the count from Aceves, and the throw over.
And the good thing about struggling, not hitting the way you want early on in the year, is that you can erase it. You know, when you're a pitcher, you get those losses. Well, you want to go and get the eraser out. It just doesn't work that way. But you can turn it around in a hurry as a hitter.
0-2 the count on Jones. Boston's beaten Toronto 2-1. Tampa Bay beat Oakland 8-6. Runner going. Jones, ground ball third. That is a fair ball. That's going to be a base hit. Goes into foul territory. Source with a big jump held up into second base. Jones gets the 2-bagger and keeps the inning alive.
So we saw the aggressive base calling by the third base coach Juan Samuel when he sends the runner early on, and then right here, there's your curveball. Posada goes to catch it. A-Rod can't get the glove on it, but the scouting reports, he's running like he can score. But Juan Samuel with Markakis coming up just puts the brakes on. Wise decision. Gardner hits the cutoff man. I don't think he would have made it. Not worth the gamble.
Jones. It's a hit that's going to make him feel a lot better. Dave Allen back out to the mound now to talk to Aceves. The Orioles tonight have been able to do things with a couple down, and that's made a real difference. Those 3 runs in the 6th inning all scored after there were 2 away. They've added another one here after there were 2 down. And Nick Markakis will get another chance to do more of that. Nick coming up with 2 away, 7 hits for each club on the ballpark scoreboard now. Markakis also an 0-for. He's 0 for 4. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Nick hitting .267. Takes the first pitch, and it is in there for a strike. Nick only 107 with runners in scoring position coming into the ball game.
Yeah, a little respect though for Matt Wieters on deck, don't you think? I mean, because you have some options if you're Joe Girardi down by 3.
Aceves coming right at Markakis.
And of course, Matt Wieters. The big thing was who's going to protect Markakis. Well, obviously, Joe Girardi thinks he's protecting him. Rather pitch to Nick than to Matt Wieters, and that's quite a statement.
2 for 4 off Aceves from Markakis. Short hopper. Cano's got it, makes the play, gets the out, but the Orioles will add a very big run and have taken a 5-2 lead. We go to the 9th inning.
There is no closer right now for me. Who wants it? Somebody take it. There is no setup guy. Who wants it? Nobody take it.
Dave Tremblay before the ball game today, he wasn't kidding. Alfredo Simon, who's never had a major league save, is on the mound.
Yeah, and the medicine marvel in a sense, because he had Tommy John surgery last May 5th, so he's back. Really threw the ball well, not only in Norfolk, you can see the numbers right there. I saw him in spring training, and we were talking about it in the press room, Mike Flanagan and a bunch of guys, and he's got a great arm. Alan Dunn, the bullpen coach, said nobody the ball coming out of their hand any better in spring training, but sometimes he would use all his pitches when he didn't need to. So he went down. He was a starter early on, out of the bullpen, and a chance to close as Lugo will come in to play second base.
And the Yankees bat here in the 9th inning as the Orioles look to put this one away. Granderson, Swisher, and Wynn are due up. Granderson's had an 0 for 3. He's 0 for his last 16. The 0-1 delivery, and he'll foul it away. Alfredo Simon had 3 starts and 1 relief appearance with the Tides this year. 1-1. He gave up 3 earned runs in 17 innings. 17 innings, 5 walks, 14 strikeouts.
97. First one sit 96. So again, you just have to really kind of just calm yourself down. I'm sure that Matt Wieters is going to have a big part of this, and just make your pitches. Boy, he's got a power arm. He's got a good changeup. Breaking ball, hard slider.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Granderson at 234. What a chance, Simone. I mean, this just doesn't happen at the major league level. You show up on the day where the manager and the organization's decided we don't have a closer, we don't have a setup guy. You're there, you get thrown into it. If he gets a save, he'll get another chance. I mean, he's got a chance to get the job. 1-2 delivery to Granderson. Misses up high. 2 ball, 2 strike count, and wants a new baseball.
And it is the Yankees, and I guess if you're ever going to say a save is easier than others, a 3-run save is. It's can't have it any more than that. Yep. But again, it all starts with throwing strikes, and Granderson, as we mentioned, does strike out a lot, but he's a veteran hitter.
2-2 delivery, and got him for the strikeout. Welcome back. Let's check in. Amber.
Gary, you asked how this happened. It's pretty simple. Alfredo Simon came up to Dave Tremblay when he got here. He said, I'm not afraid. I want the ball. And Dave Tremblay said, I like that. I'll give you the ball. It was that simple, Gary.
Little did he know it was going to be in a closing situation, probably, but hey.
Well, it doesn't really matter, and I think Rick Kranitz with Jim Johnson, who did a nice job tonight, has said, just get 3 outs. Now, he gets this ball off the corner, but, he's throwing in the upper 90s. The breaking ball wasn't good. The splitter stayed up, but the fastball is certainly good. There's another one. Come on, take your best shot. Here's my best stuff. Hit it.
Swisher has had 2 singles, and he has popped out in the ball game. Castillo would be the pitcher of record if the Orioles hang on and win this game. And the loser would be David Robertson. He comes inside to Swisher, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. This is Simone's 7th major league game. 3 of the 7 he worked as a starter. A record of 0-1. That's a career record with the Orioles, a bit in 08 and the 2 games in 09. The last time he ever had a save of any kind was back in 2005 with Norwich. He had 19 saves that season. That's the only year he really acted as the closer, appearing in 43 ball games.
And Swisher, remember, he had 97 walks last year. But again, 97 with movement, and once the ball run away from Swisher there, is going to be very effective. Down, it might even be better. And then he's going to get more comfortable in the splitter. He can throw it underneath the strike zone, and you got a very workable situation. He made the club as a starter last year before the Tommy John, the elbow injury.
28 years old out of the Dominican Republic. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Swisher will foul it away. Let's update you on our AT&T voting for the player of the game. Still time for you to vote. Text in your vote A, B, or C for Millwood. Ryan Hughes, who had the RBI in the ball game, and his Torres, who's had a very big game with 3 RBIs. 51862 results on the O's Extra post-game show. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Swisher. Simone's delivery up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. So a 3-hit ball game for Swisher. as a designated hitter. Nick Johnson is going to come to the plate as a pinch hitter for Randy Wynn.
Yeah, and this is a situation where a veteran catcher, I think Matt's got to come out there and say, now this guy's, I don't know if he knows this, I assume he knows that he's a very, very disciplined hitter. 18 walks, let's throw strikes, because Nick Johnson, you know, he can help this ball club without getting hits. That's what he's done all year.
And he hasn't hit. He and Teixeira, as we showed you, have the 2 worst averages in the majors for regular everyday players. Teixeira came in hitting 119, Johnson 135, the second lowest. But he's still drawn his walks. So a runner on at first with 1 down. We're in the 9th inning. And Swisher will have the first baseman used behind him with the left-hander up. Johnson will take it up high for a ball.
Because I don't know if Alfredo has any idea who Nick Johnson is. But this guy is not, I mean, he's up there. When you're down by 3 and you have the ability, you know, to usually get on base in the course of a year over 40% of the time, which is right up there with the league leaders. You're up there to take a walk until he throws you strikes. Then you'll start hitting.
He's got 18 walks and 18 strikeouts on the season. Swisher does, or rather Johnson does. 1 home run, 5 RBIs.
And, you know, you talk to him, you say, well, you've always been this way? Did you walk in Little League? He said, no, I hit in Little League. But he said, I recognize balls and strikes, and I don't mind hitting deep in the count.
That's going to miss, and the count will go to 2-1.
And he almost wills the umpires into not calling pitches that have been called on occasion. It hasn't been a consistent strike, but that pitch, of course, it's getting up there at 97 miles per hour, so Wally Bell doesn't have as much time to put the arm up.
Top of the order, Jeter, of course, waiting on deck. They should rather not go. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that's up high, and the count goes to 3-1. Simone falls behind, 3-1, 1 down.
And he'll be taking a pitch. And
there goes Wieters to have a word now to the mound. There's Jeter. Dave Tremblay hoping can get a save here.
Well, guys in the bullpen are stretching. Nobody's up, but they're stretching their legs and moving a little bit.
Orioles only have 3 saves on the year, of course, with the 3 wins. That's taken for a strike, and it makes it full, 3-2.
And you pretty much have to do exactly there. Just throw it down the middle. I mean, look at the movement on this ball. Well, aim for the middle. Probably not going to go there and take your shot.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Swisher with the U's behind him, with 1 away, not going, and fouled off by Nick Johnson.
Alfredo asked me in spring training, you think I should be a starter or should I be a reliever? And I said, well, if you go down and you start, you can always relieve. And here he is. Can't do it the other way around. And I think he envisioned himself as being a starting pitcher with AAA and eventually coming back and doing that at the Major League level.
3-2 the count. Runner not going. Johnson, check swing. Did he go? No, it's a walk. So after striking out Granderson, Swisher singles. Johnson draws the walk, and now it's the top of the order. That brings a potential tying run to the plate in the person of Derek Jeter. Ramiro Pena will be the pinch runner at first base for Johnson. And it gets a little dicey. Rick Kranitz out to talk with Simone. Jeter's had an 0 for 4 in the ball game. 3 ground ball outs and a fly ball out.
Well, the guy at the plate, Derek Jeter, is your tying run.
Pena loosening up. Orioles just trying to find a little confidence in these late innings that have been so tough on them, being outscored almost 3-1 from the 7th inning on. In the 9th inning, the Orioles have surrendered 9 runs to opponents while getting 8th themselves. Here's Jeter. And a strike on the inside corner. 1 down.
Yeah, all the Yankee fans, even the Yankees themselves, they have the luxury of having Mariano Rivera come in, calm, cool, collected, throw strikes. You know, most, even Papelbon, we saw him in Boston, 23 pitches on Friday night.
Jeter, slow chopper, foul.
I mean, this is a pretty good matchup if Alfredo can throw strikes because of the two-seamer he throws. That's, if he can throw it down and in, Derek has trouble getting to the ball. The only ball he has trouble getting to. Everything else he seems to fight off or hit it up the middle, hit it into right field. Down and in that two-seamer. We'll see Guthrie try to do that tomorrow night when he starts against Sabathia.
Jeter's had one opportunity RBI-wise. That came in the 3rd inning. And he grounded out to first base. Otherwise, he's come to the plate leading off with nobody on. 0-2 count. Simone. Jeter will take it. It's away. 1-2.
Everybody else goes back to the bench. How he takes this pitch, I don't know.
Swisher, the lead runner. Pena, the pinch runner at first. 1-2 delivery. Jeter fights that one off.
Yeah, that's the pitch I'm talking about. That tough pitch to get to. 96, 97, great late movement. He really hasn't thrown a quality splitter or slider yet.
Simone checks in the 1-2 delivery, and Jeter goes down swinging. Couple of strikeouts, and there are 2 away here in the 9th inning.
Well, there's your power slider. We saw Phil Hughes do this early in the game, just a veering slider. I mean, you can't throw it any better than that. How else do you get Jeter out?
Right into the glove, right where Wieters had the target.
Well, there you go.
So Simone 1 out away from his first major league save. There are 2 down. Brett Gardner. Gardner has struck out twice, reached on an error, and flied to center. Orioles lead at 5-2. Gardner will take it for a strike.
And you still have to remember that he has the ability to bunt. Of course, as you get to 2 strikes, if it goes that far, then obviously he's not going to bunt. But everybody, you know, used way back.
The whole infield is very deep.
Well, they're taking away the double, but I still think you have to respect the bunt.
Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. That's in there for a strike. Gardner down 0-2.
Now everything changes with 2 strikes, but you would have thought that maybe he would have been thinking about getting on for Teixeira.
20,536 the announced attendance on this very cool evening as the Orioles are after their first home win of the year. 2 down. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball towards short. As Torres lets him go through. Swisher will score. The play will come into second base. And it is a 5-3 game.
Well, speed kills, and I got to think that Cesar, who drives in 3, is thinking, you know what, Gardner can fly, so I better hurry. And then he just comes in, the ball goes up. You can see the bad hop. Trying to stay below the hop. Here comes Swisher to make it 5-3. It looked routine until it took that bad hop to hit very slowly.
That is another one of the problems of playing the infield so far back.
Yeah.
When you get a ground ball like that wasn't hit that hard, the infielder's forced to go further and rush.
Well, Gary, right now, I mean, this is going to be a track meet. I would be very surprised if Brett Gardner, 9 out of 10, does not steal.
Teixeira has walked twice, struck out and flied out, 1 for his last 14. First ball hitting, base hit into right field. That will score Pena. to the cutoff man with Gardner going to third, and it is a one-run ball game, 5-4. So Teixeira gets a big RBI. This coming with 2 down.
Yeah, it doesn't make a very good pitch, and Teixeira, who actually had a couple of good bats tonight, even though he's been struggling batting average-wise, he just finds the open hole and makes it 5-4.
Teixeira gets his 9th run batted in. Will Oman, who had been up earlier, is back up in the bullpen. You got A-Rod and then Cano. There are 2 down. Gardner, the speedster, is the potential tying run at third base. Now, do you walk A-Rod? Cano's probably at this point a little more dangerous.
No.
Yeah, you can't put
base hit.
Yeah, I think you just power to power, and Teixeira's not going anywhere.
A-Rod dropped a bunt down here. 2 away, and up the middle. Play at second, and they get the out, and this one's in the book for the O's. As they come away with a 5-4 win against the Yankees, Simone gets his first major league save. And as with all things Orioles so far in 2010, it don't come easy. The quick flip Lugo and his Taurus finding it 1 step ahead of the runner. There's your final. The Orioles beat the Yankees 5-4.